head, like, this is going to be a nightmare. Try to edit this. How am I supposed to edit out, a clutch climactic ending of Grey's Anatomy of people fucking and shit,
I don't know, dude. I don't know how you...
How do I edit that out from the background of a goddamn Let's Play of Halo?
I mean...
heroic run on 2.
It's a good way to get some viewership. If you're
Definitely. You're fucking right about that. You know what? I should really rethink this. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, if you're trying to get some female viewership, I mean, like, you might get hit, but you might also get some male viewership.
Put, like, Grey's Anatomy, like, spoiler alert.
Sorry in my Let's Play. Audio in my Let's Play.
Yeah, don't.
Let's Play Grey's Anatomy Halo.
Yeah, if your girlfriend likes Grey's Anatomy, don't watch this fucking Halo Let's Play.
Spoiler alert.
It's gonna be like 3 people.
Well, shit, dude. That's wild. Welcome to Shunk.
Oh, fuck, we're recording? Yeah. Fantastic. All right, fantastic.
Yeah, welcome to the show, dude. How's it been?
It's been great. It's been kind of tough lately. I'm sure it's been a lot harder for a lot of other people out there. So,
yeah, I mean, it's been rough. I mean, we haven't done a podcast in forever, and it's.
Well, this is your podcast, man. I'm just like
I haven't done. There's
like
reasons why I haven't done my podcast, but it's not. It's partially because I couldn't get anybody to fill a guest spot.
True.
To do the podcast.
Like it's crazy to think too, man. Because you do know some really cool cats here in town. Now that I think about it, like you know some pretty creative individuals.
You just got
to reach your fingers out and just touch them, tickle them, and then persuade them to have conversational intercourse with you.
Yeah. It's hard. Well,
and then record it. That's the part.
I think part of it's just like the topics that I push. Like we had the debate about the whole truth podcast.
Oh yeah, truth podcast. Well, I just think
I still think it's a worthy thing to.
It's definitely worthy to talk about.
It's not why we're here today. It's definitely not why we're here today.
I'm glad. I'm not ready for that one. That one's a tough one. And I think, and I've tried to convince you on this a few times, that you should put more people with that podcast, because I feel like more perspectives on that would be interesting than just 2 individuals talking about it, because that's a tough one. Yeah, it's a very deep rabbit hole you can go down.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, and the more perspectives that you have, it's hard. It allows you to boil it down a little bit more. You know what I mean? Because when you just have 2 perspectives, it's easier to come to an agreement.
Yeah.
The more perspectives you have, the more argument there is. But then that gives people more of a reason to find a common ground.
Yeah, I wouldn't say so much argument. I would just say just more discourse. People just kind of being like, well, this is my perspective and that's your perspective, and condensing it down to what you really think. Because maybe you agree with someone who has the opposite opinion more than you think, but you haven't had it worded in such a way, or I don't know, presented to you in such a way that is malleable, if you will. You like that word?
Yeah, dude. You know what? I love it, because you remember because when we pregame, we talked about things that we wanted to talk about on the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
One of the things I wanted to talk about was freedom of speech, and how it's and freedom of expression, and how it's been kind of corrupted in a way, in a sense. And I want to stay away from it politically. I think it's just, even though there's a lot of slang terms and there's a lot of things going on as far as speech is concerned, there's a lot of group think and group capture think, a lot of echo chamber shit you hear about all the time in the media, blah, blah, blah. But I think people are less interested in, the English language itself, which is probably the broadest languages.
What do you mean by least interested? They're least interested in it. I would disagree. I would say
less interested. Less interested in becoming more.
You mean native speakers? Who speak English, here in America, they're just less. They're less willing to use the language, as they were raised with it.
Well, no, not necessarily. But I'm just saying, the synonyms and antonyms. It's not a big thing anymore. You know what I mean? People. I curse a lot, but there are ways to speak and be eloquent more eloquent with our language than there are with a lot of other. You can finesse your language a lot more with English than a lot of other languages.
Let me try to interpret this. Are you trying to say like this is gonna make me sound old, but younger people like struggle to use English in an elegant way? Is that what you're trying to say? Like they don't use as much vocabulary.
Yeah,
they condense it down to just literally just slang.
Yeah, basically. I mean,
but I think that here let me. I think that's a byproduct of just internet culture. That's what I really think. I think they have literally created another language just because that's what every generation does. Every generation is going to have their own language to a degree. But I think now it just seems so extreme because internet culture is for a lot of older people, it's just not in their realm of existence. Like they have no contact with it, so it just looks like gibberish, or it looks like, and it is, for the most. All slang is for the most part, but I think that's where it comes from.
But there's a word for that. Like what do we call abbreviated terms? Like
I mean, you're never going to get rid of slang, dude. They're always just. Younger generations are always going to create their own language to express themselves.
I'm not saying they're idioms, but I mean what I'm trying to think of the word because there's a word for that.
Are you thinking of
when you the U.S. Department of Treasury is the USDT? You know what I mean? USDT. What I'm trying to think because is it the acronym? I'm thinking it's
like where the letters mean like they break down into a longer name.
Yeah,
like FBI is Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Yeah,
stuff like that. Yeah, I believe that's acronym.
Something like that.
I believe that's correct.
Yeah.
I think radar is that same thing too. Did you know that?
Radar? Yeah. And LiDAR, yeah.
LiDAR, yeah. A lot of people think that's just like a word, not even a real word.
No, it's an acronym for something else.
Yeah. And that's another fascinating thing. How language just evolves, really. I mean, think about when we were younger, right? And how our parents and even our older siblings, if you have any.
I do. One.
How old are your siblings?
5 years older than me.
5 years older than you?
Yeah.
So mine are 10 years older than me, so it's like a generation.
Yeah, there's a gap there.
Yeah, so I had a good, for better or for worse, I had a nice view of what the other generation older than me thought. So when I would say things, that were like terms or anything like that, this was before internet got as mainstream and as popular as it is today, obviously. I would say things like gigabyte, or megabyte, or, fucking hard drive, these fucking basic bitch terms that, everythingly, and who's ever touched a computer now. And they would just turn their head, tilt their head, like a dog being shown a magic trick, They're just like, what the fuck is this? Why does that work? So, where am I going with this, John? Why kids are using slang, right?
Yeah,
and I think that's just what it is. I think it's just us.
But they don't know what an acronym is, though.
Yeah, I think no, you don't give them enough credit. You don't give them enough.
Maybe they do, but
look.
Why do we put everything down to acronym now? Then,
well, I think it's just because it's seen as a quote unquote more efficient way of speaking, but what it really comes off as a fucking soulless it just comes off as a soulless fucking just I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, maybe obnoxious, I mean it doesn't come off as genuine. It comes off as manufactured, and it comes off as I'm intelligent, when it's really just this fucking jargon you created within your group. Like gaming is full of this shit.
Yeah, this is true.
So
I don't know, but it's one of those things. Language is such it's a fickle thing, really. Really.
Oh well, but dude, that's the beautiful thing about it.
That's true.
The only problem that we have with language is the fact that we get older. That's the only problem that we have, really. When we boil it fucking down, it's as we get older,
and the English just stays weird.
It's fucking weird. It's cool, and it's on your side for about 10 years. If you're young and you're listening to this right now, I'm fucking warning you right now. As soon as you hit 25, shit starts making sense anymore because the fucking younger people below you are doing what we already did when we were that age. So remember that shit when you're 25. I'm hitting you with some knowledge. Some Thai knowledge.
You will appreciate this, guys.
You just gotta read 100 days and you will have a Lamborghini. Knowledge. Fucking, that guy's a fucking clown, by the way. Ooh. That guy's you never saw those things on YouTube?
No.
Oh, bro. How long you been in this game? Oh, my God. Hey, up there on YouTube, Ty, baby, what's up? Yeah. You rich fuck. No, he would he was like one of those guys who was like, you know, what would you call it? Like a self-help guy? He would like sell you these like books and shit, you know? And
basically today's influencer, bro.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
But he was like on the game, like while the game was still hot, you know. And he was, I just don't even want to get into this guy. I don't really know much about him. That's why I want to get into him because I probably already fucked up a whole bunch of things about this guy. Someone in your comments, like in like 2 years from now, is commenting everything you said about Ty was wrong.
Well,
you're a dick.
That's one thing we should definitely say. Let me go ahead and tell you this right now. Like, neither one of us is... I went to college for a couple semesters.
Shocking.
And that's about it. Like, neither one of us is a doctor.
Yeah, either. So I know this is shocking news to all of you.
Let's just that out of the way. Like, I feel like that's necessary to say in today's climate.
Yeah, we're just regular dudes just talking here.
Yeah, we're just bullshitting, you know what I mean?
Like, if sharing our thoughts.
If we talk about something that, you know, you're not, without getting fact-checked, you're not to talk about, you know, I don't want to be the one, don't take my...
Yeah, don't be that guy who has to always be right, okay? Just sometimes, even if someone you know is blatantly wrong, sometimes just let them be wrong. Because sometimes it's even funnier.
Yeah. And I'm a type 1 diabetic. Like, I know a lot about diabetes, but that's about it. Really.
Wait a minute, what about your diabetes?
I just know a lot about diabetes.
Oh, well, yeah, bro. I mean, that would help to keep you alive.
I mean, it's important that I know.
I would say I'm a pro at drinking water.
I mean...
I have to do that to stay...
Yeah.
I'm just being a dick.
Bro, I mean, even though we're not, like, sponsored by anybody, I'm going to straight up say, like, shout out to the water still, for sure.
Yeah, they do have some on-point coconut tea there.
Or they didn't give them to us. We paid for them.
But they should have gave it to us.
It would be cool. Shout out to the water still.
Because we're handsome, water-drinking fellows.
Tea drinking.
I need to stop rubbing my chin against your mic. You're going to hate this in post.
I'm sure you can hear my maybe you can't hear my mustache.
No, I can't hear it, but I can hear it every time I rub my fucking peach fuzz on your fucking mic.
Well, I mean, we could always turn it up a little bit. I think we're solid on it.
I think we're good. I think we're fine.
Yeah,
John, let's talk about some spontaneous shit. Let's not even look at the notepad right now.
Okay.
What do you think about space?
About space.
Like, are you interested in it? Have you read about it? Do you know facts? Do you know random things? Do you know big things, small things, round, square things, gravity things, dark things, things in between the dark things?
Well, I mean, I know a little bit about a little bit, bro. I know a little bit about a little bit. And when it comes to space, I know, like, that is the next frontier. You know what I mean? And it's definitely interesting because, like, everything with all the technology that we have today with CERN and everything, and like the way we've been able to, like, we've basically discovered dark matter at this point. We know that there's some kind of I don't know. In, like I said, I'm not a doctor. There's an antimatter. There is a dark matter that, like, it is basically our spacious. What space? I don't.
It is space. Is that what you're trying to say?
Kind of. I'm not sure, but
it's within space.
Yeah, it's the space within space. It's the darkness. You know what I mean? Like, it's the void. It is the
roughly.
Void.
Yeah, that's what we so far know about it.
Like, I mean, I'm not a physicist or anything. I don't know anything about black holes, but I know that, like, space is, like, it's completely. I don't know. It's hard for people to comprehend.
It's really like the ocean of space.
Well, but it's a vacuum, you know. Like,
yeah, I know. That's how I try to think ahead, though. Is like, it's like if I were to look at it like with like science eyes, you know what I mean, where you just like see it like in the Matrix, you know, for what it is. I just imagine it's like
think it's just like it's an unregulated flow of daughter.
By water, I don't mean it's literally water. I just mean it's like,
but it kind of
like
is
you're in water,
though. It kind of is though, if you think about it. Like to make an allegory, or you know what I mean,
analogy.
To make an analogy, like it would be kind of like the ocean. Dark matter would be kind of like the ocean. You can't see it. It's what you can't see.
Right. That's like what you're like treading through.
Yeah, but exactly. Yeah. You know what I mean? And when they refer to space as a vacuum, it's full of this dark matter that we can't see, but like the way it interacts with our body is different.
Yeah, because like when you're going through space, you have to be like being pushed through something, right? I mean, I don't.
But you have to be contained. You have to have oxygen. You know what I mean? Because
but I mean just anything. You know, like things are just flying through space.
Does it a different? It's not a different dimension, but like we as humans can't exist in space by ourselves. You know what I mean? Like without some kind of.
Okay. I thought you were about to take a right turn and say we couldn't be the only ones in the galaxy.
No. I'm just saying we like. So far, like the human body is not ready to we can't even survive on Mars, but we plan to colonize. You know what I mean? I don't know if we plan to terraform or what it is, but like we're gonna do it.
But I think human. I mean, but I think I guess in the argument against that would be like humans have always kind of needed technology to like proceed to the next level or whatever. You know, like whether it was the cotton gin to get out of slavery, or if it was like, you know, building a house or making a fire.
I'm glad you bring this up because like
what, the cotton gin?
No, because if you look at humans through the lens of history, right? And this is what I find interesting. Like I find interesting tidbits in Ancient Aliens, but like they have accredited doctors like Graham Hancock,
right,
or Robert Schoch, and they've been on Joe Rogan's podcast and so on and so forth. But these are like accredited doctors that are like their knowledge of history and like human anatomy and like when like we started doing cave paintings and like when they started becoming more sophisticated and like so they have a better knowledge base that we evolved. But they know when we did make jumps in our evolution, it was always like super significant.
Like it was once?
Not more or less.
Like in a short period of time, it was really intense. Progress.
Well, if you think in the grand scheme of things, like we this creature not really that old.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. Like as the species we are today, we're not that old. If we look back at like what we call our ancestors, the Neanderthals, and like all the other like little species that they found, because there's other little species like I can't pull it up, but there are other species that existed before, like I guess we are Homo sapiens, like Homo erectus, blah 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 blah. But there was Homo erectus and
other forms of us.
Yeah, there were forms of like humanoid creatures. I guess that's the best way to explain it, is humanoid creatures. But
they stood up on 2 feet. They're bipedal, and they weren't chimps.
They had brains. Yeah, they were more
because what's the
Well, because they found out like Neanderthals actually did like bury their dead and stuff like that.
Like we had like rituals and stuff.
Yeah, like they had, you know what I mean. We don't give them credit for being as smart as what they were back then, but they have realized that like there was a significant leap in what we were before and how we started to.
So like I'm really rusty on all this stuff. Like there was like a divergence, right? Like, or not a divergence. I don't even know the right word. I'm just trying to sound smart at this point. But like, there was like a split, right? Like at some point with like certain like Homo sapiens and because like chimps share a lot of the same genetic material that we do, right?
Yeah, but in the grand scheme of things, like we actually share more in common with some mushrooms genetically. Yeah,
that's pretty
than incredible. We do with chimps. So,
and they, like, didn't that one guy McKenna say, like, to kind of go off on a tangent here? Didn't McKenna say, Terrence McKenna, that fucking mushroom guy, who's always on Joe Rogan's podcast. Didn't he say that like part of his theory was that that human beings were helped through evolution through like that's like the stoned ape theory, right? That, like, human beings basically evolved through eating mushrooms and like tripping balls, and like that's what made them like more acutely wanting to like hunt and like do things, you know, and like it's kind of interesting because I don't know what your experience with psychedelics are. But when I was younger,
I've had a
definitely few. You had a few.
I've
had a few myself. And anybody who's ever dabbled in psychedelic mushrooms, just for fun or even creatively, that was really my motive when I was younger. You definitely can start kind of connecting the dots, and you start hearing this stuff. You're like, wow, yeah, you do. Have you ever tried to like do anything physical while you were on mushrooms, like ride a bike or like go for a walk or?
Well, yeah. I mean, like
do anything physical.
I love to go. Like one of the last times I tripped, I went to the disc golf park.
Isn't it great?
When Wonderland was open, and I stayed out there. Like I ate them in the late afternoon. Mm-hmm. We played a few holes, and by the time we made it to the little hole where you usually stop to smoke, mm-hmm. they were starting to kick in.
Yeah.
And so we smoked, and like at this time, like all the lights were like super intense, like right, you know what I mean? Like we speak of gaming, it was like, you know what I mean, your first mm-hmm. taste in 4K ray tracing. You know what I mean? That's how it was, bro. Like that's when it first hit me. I was like, dude, this shit looks awesome. These fucking shadows and shit.
Yeah, everything.
Like, I could see all the leaves. Yeah, like
everything was more vibrant. Wild. You become more into it. Did you know that? Like maybe you've heard about this. That they were dabbling with the effects of psychedelic mushrooms in the UFC. Like
it doesn't surprise me. Well, I mean, like
just because like what we were just talking about, like it makes you like more like, focused on things. You know what I mean? And maybe even like I would be even willing to bet like mitigate some kind of pain because your brain is kind of overwhelmed with just.
And see, this is. I'm glad we brought this up because we also wanted to talk about. We're going to be talking about drugs in general, but like, I'm glad we started out with these ones, but because this is such a fun topic. Because like, it's funny because like marijuana isn't like considered therapeutic at all in the federal law's eyes.
Oh yeah,
as of right now.
Well, that's not just here. It's also like in Germany. In Germany, it's I think it's viewed as like a no.
It has no medical value.
Well, no, not medical value. You can get it for medical use, but like recreational use is still viewed as like abuse.
Yeah, but federally right now, like I like forgive me, schedule it wrong or whatever. It's like a scheduled narcotic. Which means it has no, like, there is no therapeutic use, there is no medicinal use for it. That's just federally. That's why, like, whenever states started deciding that they were going to have it legalized, the federal government was like, good luck finding a bank to do business with us.
Right.
You know what I mean? Unless we get our cut of it.
Right.
And so, like, and it's progressed since then. I think they passed a bill. I'm not sure. I don't. Like, I try as much as policy dictates what we do in America. I don't like to pay attention to it because right now I hear a lot of screaming and I hear, about how much they're spending.
Right.
I hear tidbits about how much they're actually spending on what, and I'm just like, dude, why? Because we're already trillions of dollars in debt. Like, I don't care. Like, you want to improve the roads? Tight. Why did my milk go from like $4.50 a gallon to fucking $6 in a month? Yeah, dude. High, like, I don't understand it.
I don't understand it all that either. But I just feel like
it's inflation, whatever. I don't want to get into the economics of it because that's just.
It is frustrating though. I totally get that, man. Like that is fucking bang against the wall. But I was gonna. You've been to Colorado? Have you seen what legal weed can do for your city? Holy shit.
Dude, I mean, yeah, I've been to Colorado, and I mean,
I said city, your state, but Denver, I meant specifically.
Yeah, I've been, yeah, but I mean, Colorado's still beautiful. Denver's it's still a beautiful city, but they still have a really high. There's a high poverty, homeless rate there.
It's still definitely got the city problems for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, for the most part, Denver is actually really nice, and I enjoy it. But it's expensive, everything. But I mean, the cost of where we live, the cost of living is fairly compared to where they live, what they make.
But I think across the board, it's still pretty expensive. Even in Colorado, I think and Denver's not. I don't even think this is the worst culprit. I think there's places like Golden and things like that are worse, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Any of those resort towns, they really have a monopoly. Like they only have the one store. Yeah, they only have one store. Beautiful. So you're forced to go to one store, and a fucking soda's just a 12-ounce can is $3.75. Like they tax, they hit you.
That reminds me of a story. Shout out to my homie. He knows who he is. I'm not going to say his name because he has a professional life, so I'm going to keep him on the DL.
Hey, we're here. I mean, semi-professionally.
Yeah. But like he has like a real professional job. He's helping the world and shit. So I ain't gonna run him under the bus. But we had this trip down in Stonewall. Yeah, he knows who the fuck he is now. If he's we went down to Stonewall. And it was badass, dude. It was very beautiful. But it's exactly what you were just now saying. Like, you go to these small towns in Colorado, and it's these one-horse towns, literally, these one-horse towns that have, like, a gas station, one restaurant, no fucking internet, because you're out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, but you're out in the middle of nowhere. And they know that. Like it there because they've been there for who knows how long, They've all been there for, comfortably for a long time. And, dude, people come through there. They break it off in them. Holy
they
shit,
pack, bro. But I guess that's one thing about capitalist society that sucks.
There's many things about capitalist society that sucks. So there's some great things about it too, but it definitely comes with its cons. That's for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as to get back to the topic of drugs, like and they're moving in a direction that tells me that it's hopeful that we will see a different scheduling of marijuana.
I really hope federally. So. You know what's going to happen, bro? I'm going to leave to Germany, and then they're going to fucking legalize that shit. That's exactly what's going to happen, Joe.
Well, I mean...
That's my kind of luck.
I don't talk about political things, but I think if there's anything that could save the current administration from all the current things going on... They would just announce that move.
I think they could save anybody.
If they wanted to be super smart.
We said the same thing about Trump.
Super play. Yeah, like that's what Trump should have done.
That would have been his save play. That would have been a Hail Mary that saved him.
He pardoned Lil Wayne.
What did Lil Wayne do?
It was like...
Fill me in.
He had something he had already been committed of felony charges before, I think.
Gun charges?
Yeah.
Figured.
And then he caught another one, and it was affecting, like, you know what I mean? With a presidential pardon, you basically get out of...
Yeah, it's Monopoly card style.
Yeah.
Jail free.
You know what I mean? So, yeah. So, I mean, I don't know if that was what the deal actually was.
How much did Lil Wayne pay for that? Got a free jail card?
Probably cheaper than a lawyer. He endorsed, but, you know what I mean? I heard Lil Wayne... talk about how we needed Barack back and stuff in
whatever,
previous
bro.
raps.
He was singing a different tune when Trump was like, "Yo, how much?"
That's
do you
what
need?
I'm saying. Like when you did the good graces, who did you holler at? Who did you holler at? You know,
it is interesting in politics how I don't know. To me, it seems like for 10 years they'll shift attitudes in the whole country, and then advertising will follow suit because they're trying to get a hold of demographics that are, making more money or just have more expendable income. So it's really weird, man. Like every 10 years, like there's like a shift between, Democratic ideals or Republican ideals. Like there's never this what America should be, like this not compromise, but this like, I don't know, like a trade of like, we should do this with this and it doesn't work.
More barter. Almost.
Well, I don't know about barter. I mean, let's not break it down to that simplified. But I'm just saying that the system should work, not as we've exploited it as. That's basically what's happened. Basically, what's happened. If you're not from America and you're listening to this, basically, in my opinion, basically people have figured out the system and they've made it a career to just hang out. Oh God! I got attacked by a fly. That was a Chinese fly. They know I'm talking. They know I'm talking truth. They're coming to get me, bro. Oh my God!
I was trying to segue into that.
All right, I'm not finishing what I'm saying, damn it. Oh my God! That was live. Oh God! So anyway, I think Jesus Christ, that was disgusting.
Oh damn! I'm sorry,
JC Chan, that was bad.
Yes. Yes.
So check it out. So I personally think that basically what has happened is that people have figured out how to make careers in doing nothing but get paid while being lazy as hell, you know, in politics. And as citizens, we're also responsible because we allowed people without integrity, and we've not done our due diligence as citizens to take care of the system that is supposed to take care of us. Because we're supposed to be the ones who are in control of the system, not the other way around. And this is what's kind of happened, is that now we've gotten lazy as citizens, myself included especially. And for the most part, I don't think it's just that we're lazy, because I don't want to hit everybody over the head and be like, you need to do more. It's not just that. It's that most of us, myself especially, again, are just not educated in just the basics of the jargon or the politics or what's truth and all that stuff. Because most of our young lives, man, we were just fed bullshit, you know. So like we are just naturally don't want to, you know, accept anything that might be true.
Okay. So there was multiple ways that we could go into different subjects, right, from here. But what we're talking about, let's just talk specifically American, strictly right here. As far as like that is concerned, like we definitely as people, like even myself, like I've come to grips with the fact, like, and I'm somebody that wants, like, there are a lot of politicians out there that are like, hey, you really need term limits, but they don't want to pass term limits, and that's part of the problem. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I wanted to stay away from political talk, but let's be honest, like Joe Biden has literally been in politics for 47 years. I don't think you should be able to be in Congress or like I don't think you should be able to be a member of Congress or be in the Senate for more, like both things. Like
right.
I wouldn't say like it doesn't go concurrently. You can't be like one and then the other. I'm saying you get 10 years and that's it. Like that's as far as you get as far as public service is concerned, because right. like a lot of what we're seeing is like generational things. We're seeing a lot of generational, like we see things like older people see things a lot different than we do. You know what I mean? And we see
like the values are different too, yeah.
But we see things even way more different than people younger than us see things.
Of course.
So I mean, it's just that's part of the problem. But
well, I mean, but that's just a part of just time. I think the part of the problem is that people fail to recognize that, probably, you know, because we always fall back on that. Oh, those youngsters, they don't know music, or they don't know this, or they don't know that. You know?
But I'm saying the problem is the fact that that our leaders are unwilling to relinquish.
Yeah,
like generationally, they don't want to relinquish their power.
No, I agree.
I mean? Like everybody that's in Congress now, I think. Yeah, there are definitely some younger faces in there, but honestly, they tend to be the more radical ones of the group.
The younger ones?
Yeah. Like if you think about I'm not trying to be political, but if you think about like AOC and like,
right,
because you always hear like about Ben Shapiro and like, but they've proved that like this intellectual dark web, like we know Joe Rogan is not, he's not a Trump supporter. You know what I mean? We know he's not. He moved to Texas, but he did that because California's so fucking crazy right now, dude. Because
a lot of people moved
politically, you know, they're like political refugees. For real, it's crazy to think about it as like as Texas a state, we're taking on a bunch of political refugees that could change like the political landscape Like, you know what I mean? But I'm not. I'm not political. Like, I vote for who I think is the lesser of the two evils, and like I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm not gonna say who I voted for, but like that's regardless of the point. I just think right now, like politically, just in general, we as citizens have relinquished a lot of what we were promised by our Constitution to the government. And we them to handle things for us, you know what I mean? And now that we've relinquished, like, we don't recognize what our freedom really is anymore, especially in the COOF days.
COOF days.
That's just how I'm going to refer to that in the COOF days, because there are mandates and this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? Like, people don't know, like, and that was true. It's true of everything. It's been true the whole time since the whole like. I don't like to think of things as like systemically racist or systemically corrupt or anything, but like if you think about the law in general,
right?
Even the nice person you know has some way, somehow violated some kind of simple city ordinance and broken a law. Like if we were in a place where we were monitored all the time. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like none of us would be perfect, and that's just the thing. Like that's the perfection of it. But and we can talk about like equality of justice or whatever.
You know, it'd be a good segue from that right there. What you were just saying, like a world where like if everybody's being monitored and shit, like some Orwellian shit. You know, we're gonna go from there. Fucking to China.
Let's go, bro.
They have that social system,
bro. We can cover
it
all, bro. We can cover it all. I'm down to talk about it.
We'll just cover briefly China. They have that social system that is real spooky. I wish I would have done a little into it because it's pretty scary. I think it's actually called like Skynet or some shit. I mean, something spookily close.
Are you talking about like their internet?
No, they're like the program that is used to monitor. It's called fucking Skynet or some shit.
We have that here. It's called the NSA.
Well, yeah, but they literally have a program called Skynet. Like, look that shit up,
bro. But
like,
I mean,
from Terminator.
we went from America to China. Stick with America on this, bro. We're talking about the NSA. Like, and when we talk about China and stuff, like, we think about things in terms of capability, right? Because like a lot of tech firms were started in America.
Yeah.
Like they do majorly with parts made from China. You know what I mean? So China does kind of have like a grip on our industry in that way. But if you think about it, the NSA is already has access to every camera. They do that, bro. They do that. They literally do that.
Dude, but like, I mean, I'm sure they do. But I mean, what are they going to use it
for?
What are they going to use it for?
That's what Edward Snowden was talking about. They're doing, like, when they say they're doing mass surveillance, they're doing mass surveillance, bro. Yeah. And so, like, am I comparing this to China? No, for sure not. Like, we are definitely. But
you're saying like our privacy is definitely invaded on a daily basis.
Yeah,
definitely. It's not just definitely. The NSA.
Not to the degree that it is in.
I think the NSA has better things to do than like necessarily try to keep tabs on all of America. I'm sure they definitely have the capacity and definitely they don't need like any more clearance than they use.
Well, I mean, regardless, but what Snowden told us was that they were always listening anyways, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they have...
But now they just have specific... It's legal.
Well, but because we let it be legal.
Yeah, but that's
because our politicians keep allowing it to... No, our politicians keep allowing it to go on.
But, dude, a lot of stuff also all happened because of, like, 9/11, and we were just like...
Yeah, that was a life-changing thing, and, like, okay, like, I get the safety precautions that we get, but...
I'm not arguing
on that day, we relinquished...
Yeah, dude, the Patriot Act and all that shit fucked a lot of shit up,
man. We relinquished a lot of our privacy, you know what I mean? We relinquished a lot of our rights we ceded a lot of our rights to the government.
Yeah,
with that one act.
Yeah, effectively.
And they keep re-signing it, reauthorizing it.
Does it not spook you out when we have like targeted ads? Like it's a generation below us who are just used to that.
Bro, well, I mean, look, and see, that's one of those things. Like, these are supposedly, though, private corporations, though. These are supposedly private corporations, but, like, it's all in the fine print. Like, if you literally want to read all 263 pages of your fucking user agreement, you'll find out that, you're basically selling your soul to get sold ads.
Yeah, and you don't
specifically targeted. They read your text messages, so they know, like, oh, you're a chef? Huh. Oh, yeah. Check your Instagram.
Yeah. When I started learning German, this is more proof than you'll ever need right here. I started learning German at the beginning of January. Not even like 2 or 3 months into learning it, I started getting like ads, like German chain mail. I started getting like advertisements and all kinds of. Even my pornography was giving me like fucking recommendations in German. I was like, this is getting fucking Orwellian. This is getting weird. Y'all are freaking me out. Like, y'all are like not only sending me ads, y'all are trying to get me to wank off to shit too. That's fucking. Like, what is going on, dude?
Dude, I don't know, but that.
Like, and I always had like suspicion. I don't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry, but I had always had suspicions of, targeted ads. I knew that they was true. I'd always noticed, like, when I was like, oh man, I've been looking at videos of like fight sticks for fighting games, which are controllers.
Yeah. And well, I mean, some of our would know that. Some people might not. But
anyways, I'm just just for Anyways,
for clarity,
or just say I'm just looking into some things. I would immediately be getting fucking recommendations. Anything that was connected to my Gmail or some shit, bro. It was straight up hitting me up like, "Hey, dog, you need this in your life.
Bro,
you need this in your life."
It's funny that you bring that up because like my truck driver, right? Mm-hmm. So like he would come to my house, and I have YouTube. I have a smart TV, bro. So like I have my YouTube linked to my TV. And so this motherfucker will come home, pull up YouTube, and start watching car crash videos.
God.
You know what I mean? So my fucking history is like all like 1956 races, 60s races, car crash compilations. Like I'll have a solid just
Jesus.
Like I can't go far enough in my history.
That's awful.
Andy Griffith show, like crazy, like. He was telling me about one that was like recorded in the 50s, and the dude was like, he was so drunk that he didn't have a driver's license, so they had to like literally block off roads in order to get shots of him like driving a car because he couldn't legally drive.
That's that just sounds like television.
Bro, in the 1950s? Fuck yeah.
Dude, no, but I don't think you understand how bizarre American television seems to the rest of the world. Like, I didn't know this until
I want to hear this.
Okay, so check this out. So, like, in Germany, I don't believe they have, like they don't... Okay, so first of all, I'm going to start off real easy. Like, they don't have, like, ads.
What? They don't have ads?
So no,
they like... porn though.
Everyone's porn, bro. No, check this out. So they have ads. Don't get me wrong. They have ads, but they have to explicitly say it's an ad, right? So they can't just have like a movie, and then like they have like these like or not a movie. Like how do I explain this? Like they can't have like an advertisement or a show or something like that. Explicitly have like a marked product, and it. Maybe this is in Germany. Don't even.
Bro,
I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
It's the same like, in America, bro. Like
no, here in America, you can just have like a product in your movies and shit, right? Like
not like
because Wayne's World is full of it. That's why they make fun of it.
Yeah, they make fun of that, but like that's because they actually got the licensing from those brands to put it in the movie. But
like what I'm saying,
America has become so contentious, though. Like the perfect idea for this is DMCA.
DMCA, really?
Why? Because like we should be able to listen to music. Like I want to end the podcast with a freestyle. Can't capture my screen, so I'm not going to be able to capture the audio from YouTube or whatever. So it's not going to work out. But whatever, doesn't matter. The video could get struck for that. It could be, it would be demonetized automatically. I don't care.
Well, the same thing goes with video too, man.
Yeah,
like if it's like certain video, like you just like what you have to do is you have to distort it and change it just enough, which sucks because it's hard to.
But that's just if you want to skirt around the rules. Like like if we live in the freest society, and I get that, like. I don't know. Intellectual property is a tricky thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Intellectual property is a tricky thing.
Because it happens when, like, the shoe's on the other foot, you know?
Well, because, I mean, look what we're doing right here. Yeah. Like, we are, and I'm just going to say it, we are mimicking Joe Rogan right now.
But, dude, we're not, but Joe Rogan did not invent podcasting. I hate when people are like,
yeah, I'm not saying he did.
Godfather
I'm not saying he did, but when we think in, like in our generation, he is like the god right now, and like
but dude, I don't, man.
I'm not saying he's the GOAT. I'm not saying he's the father, but I'm just saying like he's.
I feel you. I just have a peeve about
he's in the forefront of that genre or
I
that.
Agree. There's no denying that. No denying that. I just have a peeve. I have a peeve when every comedian would come on that platform and be like, Joe, you've been doing this from the very beginning. You're like the first podcaster ever, Joe. And I'm just like, and of course Joe Rogan's like, no, I think somebody else is, he'd try to be modest about it, which is cool, but like still, it always peeved me. I'd be like, these guys are they don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Have you seen, and like, I'm not trying to like plug anything, but like, have you seen Bo Burnham's new special?
No.
Dude.
Is it good?
He does a little bit about the internet.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure
and it's super good. It's super good.
I think is it a song?
Yeah.
I think you showed it to me, like the song.
Yeah, I think I showed you the song. The song is about the internet.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how good it is, though. How true.
It is like, good. I feel like his older stuff was better, though. But I guess that might be every artist.
But it's a different time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's been a rough time. And he's looking at it from his perspective, you know what I mean? Yeah. He's like he's a superstar in his own right, I guess, kind of. You know what I mean? Like for people that are younger than us, like they really look up to Bo Burnham.
Yeah,
like that's crazy because like when we think about comedians and stuff, we think about comedians. We don't like, and I don't necessarily see Bo Burnham as a comedian. Honestly, he's just a performer. Like he directs and like records all of his own things. Like he does a lot. He directs music or directs videos, directs movies. Like he's a multi-talented guy. He does a lot of things. So I don't want to say he's like, but you can say the same thing about Joe Rogan. You know what I mean? Right. Like they're both good at they're good in their own little lanes.
Is it weird to hear people say that Joe Rogan is a professional speaker?
I don't think so. I don't think so because like people know him as a professional, like a professional sportscaster.
Professional speaker, bro. To me,
I'm just saying, like they see him as like a professional sportscaster.
Well, I mean, I could see sportscaster.
So
a speaker.
Well, but think about it though. He does a podcast like every day. Almost, nearly every day.
But I just feel I just feel like a real professional speaker would be like, I don't know.
Like nobody's hiring him. Like colleges aren't hiring him, dude, to do commencement speeches and stuff. Like it's not like he's a professional speaker.
It just feels like a tacked on fucking achievement. It doesn't feel like real.
Professional speaker is just a tacked on thing, bro.
Anybody can feel like it could be that.
Well, bro, because I mean, look at any of the previous presidents.
Right.
Donald Trump was a professional speaker before he was a professional president, bro.
But that's because it requires like a language, right? It requires like jargon, right? That's a little different, I think. But like when it comes to just like talking to people, I feel like it's just kind of like a tacked on thing, like.
Yeah, but professional speaker,
communicator. He's he's a professional talker. He moves his tongue consecutively for 4 hours, and he doesn't fuck up,
bro. Okay, so people always like when because I stopped streaming on some other platforms. But I would like freestyle and people would be like, dude, you drop bars, bro. I don't understand why you don't rap professionally. And I'm like, well, First of all, like, you don't there's an industry monster behind all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's number one. Number two, where I live geographically limits me to what I can produce.
Well, you know what that means, right? Gotta go to weed country, bro.
Yeah, but I didn't have that option until now. Until recently. I'll say that much.
We're gonna get a roadmap for you, and we're gonna plot you a course, bro.
Well, I mean, and I don't know, dude. There's
a
lot of crazy things that I shouldn't talk about.
Of course. Where you're going, you're not going to need roads.
Yeah, but
you're going to weed country.
I'm still going to need roads.
And you're going to have a podcast still, and you're going to talk about the
podcast. Oh, well, yeah, the podcast can travel with me, bro. You see the equipment, bro. It goes with me.
And then you're going to keep emailing me. What is this, 2003? You're gonna fucking video chat me and be like,
we're going to screen capture.
How's Germany?
Podcast.
Check out my music and check out the podcast. We should do a Discord or whatever fucking...
The kids are doing those days.
Podcast.
We don't fucking know. We don't know the future, guys.
We don't know the future, guys. You could have COVID, too.
I don't want to talk about... I'm not going to talk about rival platforms just because of the fact that I plan on uploading this on a platform.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want to talk about rival platforms, but there are other platforms.
Jelly salt.
Yeah, but that's the crazy thing, because it steers us back to like how we've ceded control. Like we've ceded a lot of control to YouTube, basically over like what we say.
Dude, oh man, tell me about it.
Like you know what I mean? Like because I don't want to talk about the coof, and that I'm going to keep calling it the coof, and it's still probably going to get flagged.
Dude, no, you'll be fine. As long as you don't put it like in your title and stuff like that, you'll be fine.
Nah, dude, they're running algorithms. They're listening to your audio.
You'll be fine. But like it's just such a fucking nightmare to navigate through all this shit. Like, I can't imagine anybody right now really trying to make a true, just diehard only career on YouTube or Twitch or anything like that. These are soul-sucking companies, you know what I mean? The only reason that I even put any of my creative stuff on any of these platforms is basically because they have a monopoly grip.
Yeah, exactly, shit. Because it's the only place to put it, bro.
Anybody who goes in the comments is like, D-Live or bullshit like that, like... No, come back to 2021 and share with us your thoughts about how everybody else is not there with you.
Yeah.
Because nobody uses that shit. I wish they did. I'd be right there with you if anybody fucking went to those places, but nobody goes there. So.
Well, because they can do it digitally, though. Like, they don't have to be there in person. And that's like when we think about just things right now, like, we don't do a lot of things in person. And that's my conflict right now. Like, I'm going through this whole, like, I want to delete all my social media. I want to be able to delete it all, but I can't.
See, I did that. I did that when I was younger. Well, tell me why you can't.
Well, okay, so I deleted Facebook, right? That was, like, the one...
Step one.
That was a lot to deal with, right?
Absolutely.
But that was before Facebook acquired Instagram.
Oh, they got you by the balls.
So I have an Instagram, right?
Yeah.
And I am like fairly active on Instagram. And up until today, I'm literally going to deactivate my Snapchat. Well, I've posted things on there today, but I'm going to deactivate it because like a lot of my Instagram has now been flooded with these videos that I make on Snapchat, which I don't know. It's fun to take the little videos, and I have my little lane because most of my videos are just me soaking in my car listening to music. But it's not actually being productive in society.
Yeah, it does.
It doesn't do anything. Like, with the time that I do, it's the same thing with Instagram. Mm-hmm. With the time that I spend looking at Instagram, dude, I could accomplish so much more. And I'm already that person that's like, I try to accomplish so much during the day.
Dude, and that's pretty healthy, man. I would say. I think a lot of people find a lot of excuses not to do things during the day, myself included. I'm pretty fortunate that I got this book game early, and the reason I got out of it was because, frankly, a whole bunch of my family members started getting into. I was a young kid, and I was just like, shit, I don't want them to know the fucking shirtless pictures, I'm taking for girls and stuff. Because at that time, I was really just using it for friends when I had them, and girls when I was chasing them. I'm always chasing them, ladies. Anyways,
and your boy is available too. Don't forget.
No, I'm sorry. I'm not. I'm actually taking.
He'll actually plug all of that stuff.
Edit that shit out, John. Edit that shit out. I'm in so much trouble.
2 minutes later.
2 minutes. Yeah, 2 minutes later. No, but I was get back to my story. I was lucky, and I got out of it pretty soon. And I didn't really get inundated with Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat or any of those things. And I was pretty fortunate. But what it did happen was it fucking hated me. You know what I mean?
Because it's because everybody else it's, I don't know, to sound I don't know. I'm a very blunt person, and I use specific words, but they've become complacent with the ways that they reach out. You know what I mean? They've become complacent with living digitally in the Facebook and the Instagram instead of living in actual society. You know what I mean? I don't spend a lot of time with my friends, dude, and I lost a really good last weekend.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So
sorry to hear that.
I realized that the digital because he had moved, the only way I could see him was digitally.
Yeah,
and
so that's a
sucked.
good thing. Well, I mean, but that's also a good thing too, right? Because I mean, without that, the distance between you, it would have been hard to communicate. I mean, that's the good thing about it, but it's also the bad thing that it also encourages people to stay at a distance,
Well, what? But why not? I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to say I'm antagonistic, but I'm not a very just me being a blunt and forward person turns a lot of people off. Right.
No, yeah, I understand.
And then so the people that I do click and that I do become friends with, I don't know. I don't want to fancy them as, but they tend to be more, open-minded and
a bit more honest about how they feel about things.
Yeah, exactly. And they're more open to, perspective, because life is all about perspective, right?
I agree. Yeah.
And so they're more open, and they're more open to see your perspective, and I don't know if that's empathy or whatever you would call it, or you know what I mean, but there's a lot less of that today, I think, honestly.
But I think
it's just because we're so flooded with
sections.
Yeah, well, Dave Chappelle talked about it in his special, and I'm not trying to quote comedians or whatever, but he talked about how, you know what I mean, for us 9/11 happened, but for kids the next 9/11 really happens every day.
Right.
And I don't want to drag politics into this, but literally that's what they're saying about these new voting laws that states are trying to pass. They're saying it's new Jim Crow, and that we've used words to describe things that it's so easy to call somebody a racist. You know what I mean? It's so easy to do that. It's easy to label somebody, but that's not, you know what I mean? People are going to say that I'm racist for even saying that, but I'm just saying it doesn't make you a racist person.
Yeah, I think there's a lot more that I think someone has to show that than just saying a naughty word.
And it's funny because I heard it on a television, a news. It wasn't. I'm not going to say it was a news. It's the news. It's definitely a commentary show. Right, and I'm not going to bring up the name of the show because we're here, but this is I'm watching this show, and it's a more conservative, kind of covers the
just
news.
speculating, maybe, or like
it's commentary. Like they're just giving their opinion. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But they specifically label it as such. You know what I mean? Like that show is categorized as commentary when they go live with it, or when they post it, or what. Like, I don't know. Television, we're pretty much similar to what we're doing. You know what I mean? Like, we're filming this now. We'll probably run some edits just to make sure everything looks clean and crisp, this, that, and the other. But, like, you know what I mean? Television has been doing this for years.
Right.
And now it's accessible to us, so we're able to do the same thing, you know, and thank technology for that. But, like, they still do things that way. But, like, now it's become so scrutinized that it's like, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy to think that CNN still labels itself as, like, the news network or whatever. I don't even know what CNN stands for.
CNN?
CNN.
CNN. Oh.
CNN.
I don't even know, bro.
Fucking CNN,
what does Fox
bro.
stand for? An acronym too, right?
I don't know, bro.
Or is that somebody's last name?
I think that's somebody's last name, but, like, let's see. CNN.
CNN. Collateral News Nation.
Collateral News Nation.
I
don't want their website. Like, what's their Wikipedia?
Boers Never Natty.
It's the Cable News Network.
Cable News Network.
Cable News Network, bro. It's Ron Burgundy's opponents, dog. The Cable News Network.
CNN.
Bro. Now I think they're even more evil. You know what I mean?
You know who else is evil? Jackie Chan. JC. Otherwise known as Jackie Chan.
Hey, you shut your mouth.
What, you don't want me to talk about
No,
Kevin?
you shut your mouth.
Super cop Kevin?
Shut your mouth. Because I have a lot of faith in JC.
No, bro. You mean JC.
JC
Chan? Okay. Yeah, free JC Chan.
What, you thought I was talking about Jesus Christ? Because I'm John Priest? No. About JC Chan.
JC Chan.
So recently disowned.
Well, I wouldn't say recently. I think it was in 2014. They actually dated it, which is even scarier. Jeez. Dude, so, okay, I'm going to give you a little brief history of why this breaks my heart that Jackie Chan's basically a fucking evil villain now.
Yeah, guys, we're talking about the same Jackie Chan from
let me
Rush Hour.
Yeah, Rush Hour. Fucking super cop. His name was Kevin. Yeah, because he looks like a Kevin. He was in Rumble in the Bronx. He was in Drunken Master and Legend of the Drunken Master. He was in so many fucking awesome kung fu films, dude.
How many movies?
Over 200. And then he got an Academy Award because he's such a good actor. Because it took 2 garbage films to make.
That's
actually, you know what? That's not true. He made 195 garbage films, and 5 of them were also shipped to America that were okay.
But
I have a lot of pent-up anger towards Jackie right now.
Okay, but yeah, like we could. I mean, how many? Like, this was research we were supposed to do before. We were supposed to look at American actors, or just actors in general, and see what the average.
Well, no, I'll look up a list of the richest actors.
Awards.
I'll look up a list here in a second of the richest actors. But
come on, Denzel, bro. Denzel's probably got a couple Oscars
bro.
by now.
Well,
come on, dude. Denzel is legit.
Yeah,
dude.
but that doesn't mean how much money they got in the bank, though.
Yeah, but I don't care how much
Jackie
he's
Chan
worth.
made over
I'm just
200
talking
films.
about.
How much do you think Jackie Chan's worth? Allegedly. I don't think this is accurate. I don't think this is.
I don't think he's as rich as people think he is. I think he's
richer.
I think he's probably only worth. I don't think he's worth $1 billion.
He's not.
I think he's probably worth around $700-800 million, maybe.
He's worth I think he's worth $370 million. Let me check. Worth.
Because we're
$350 million.
$350 million. So I was over.
He was $350 million.
I was going to say
second highest paid actor in the world. So I was wrong about that. According in 2016, But anyways, so why is Jackie Chan a total butthole?
I don't know why, bro. You tell me.
Well,
other than he's made like a whole bunch of movies and he hasn't really won anything.
Well, true that. Other than him, being like, well, I was going to give you a brief history of why this sucks. Is that like when I was a kid, I really liked Jackie Chan films, Bruce Lee. I liked Gordon Liu from like the Shaolin monk movies and stuff like fucking 36 Chamber of Shaolin movies like that. Fucking listened to Wu-Tang when I was a kid. Because of my influence and stuff, watched a lot of Shaolin movies, blah, 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 blah. Fast forward to now. Oh, that's awesome. That's perfect. Right before, I get ridiculously out of my mind. So Jackie Chan was a huge influence on me because this guy was, the guy who basically was like passed the torch, in my opinion, from Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was to me like the apex of like action stars, even as a little kid.
And I mean, to make arguments, though, he was extinguished. A little early.
It's a totally different story, though. But so anyway, so I looked at Jackie Chan as like basically the second best thing, and I loved his films. I thought he was very funny, very charismatic, and I always just imagined Jackie Chan as this guy that you could go up to if you saw him in a fucking airport, and no matter what happened, it's like Robin Williams, like how you just imagine you would meet Robin Williams, and he would just take the time and talk to you as a human being. Like that's kind of how you would imagine him. Well, that's not probably true at all, and this is why you probably shouldn't meet your heroes, folks. Fucking Jackie Chan used to be very pro-America in Hong Kong. Was in his heydays between like the 80s and the 90s.
Heroes, you heard it. Heroes are overrated. Go on.
Heroes, don't have them.
Bad idea.
Let me crush your soul real fast.
No,
have them, just don't meet them. Anyways, so during like the 80s and the 90s, Hong Kong was making a lot of films, and he was a part of that and made a lot of his money.
Probably don't want to meet him, just like all of Louis C.K.'s victims didn't want to meet him, and I could go down a list of perverts. But anyways, go on.
It's a good detour.
I had to add a comedic element in there because it's funny.
Good. So anyway, that's why it was pretty insane to think that like Jackie Chan could be anything other than cool because of the movies, right? Well, if he's not that way, I'm fucking so far off this. Edit this, John. Anyway, so during the 80s, he made a lot of his money making films in British Hong Kong. And that was a lot of capitalism during that time, and he was very pro about that. He was even in a concert singing about how they should, keep it there and keep it more capitalistic because they were having like protests and shit like that during the 90s. Well, now he's singing a different tune. Now he's all about the fucking government because that's what's going to benefit him the most because he's probably an opportune fuck.
I'm glad you capitalized on that though because like we needed that context to see, you know what I mean, just how far he's
like
gone.
Without that, you don't understand. Like, he's just a guy following his country, But it's so much more than that. He's just like this huge flip flopper. You know what I mean? Amongst people who are demonstrating not even 2 years ago.
But people don't understand like because like as of recently like Hong Kong is no more. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Beijing is the only. You know what I mean? Beijing is the only.
So
there is no other than to put it bluntly, there is no freedom of speech.
Like, there's no democracy. Yeah, exactly. And that was like really the crazy thing is that like a lot of Westerners still look at Jackie Chan as this, lovable guy, but like this is definitely, siding with the bad guys, the people who are, not listening to the people who are protesting before all this COVID shit happened. Like not even 2 years, 1 year ago maybe.
Well, and to not only that, but not fight for their like as someone who benefits so much from Western culture, from the freedom of speech, like you know what I mean. Like let's not pretend like he like we said he's done a whole bunch of fucking films. Bro.
Oh well, what's even funnier, or I should say ironic, is that a lot of the portrayals that he had in these movies, he was a cop. like Super Cop. I mean, he literally was a cop, you know. Like in all the other films too, he portrays a cop. And then like cops in Hong Kong when the protests were happening and stuff, and they were getting hit with tear gas, and people were getting, you know, guns pointed at them and shit, you know, like all that kinds of crazy stuff for protesting. It basically was like a rubber stamp on, like, you know, just connecting the dots with people culturally, being like, holy fuck, like Super Cop means something totally different now, you know.
Yeah.
Kevin, you know, that's what I always thought was funny in the Kung Fu movies. They would call him some American name, you know, because they
that's just for the American
adaptation. Yeah, the American dub, his name was Kevin.
Yeah.
Kevin Chan.
Kevin Chan. Not JC.
Oh, thank you for reminding me. Save JC, bro. He's a lost soul out there. A billionaire son lost soul.
Let's just say this, all right? JC has daddy issues.
We're not talking about Jesus either. We're talking about JC Chan.
Jesus has daddy issues too. I mean,
yeah.
if we're being honest about it, those are pretty...
I'd be pretty bitter too if I had to get put on a cross. I'm just saying.
See, I think that just offended a lot of people. That's cool. We'll keep it rolling. We'll keep rolling.
Everybody.
Dude.
Anyways, let's get to JC Chan. Let's get to JC Chan here.
Yeah, okay. JC
so check it out. JC Chan is the son of Jackie Chan. And imagine that. A fucking millionaire has family issues. And Jackie Chan's no different. And JC Chan is considered a playboy of China, a guy who basically gets hyped up in movies, and then like they flop anyways. You know what I mean? They get all the advertisement. They basically have like all of the recipe for success, but they're still just shit because nobody likes the guy for whatever reason. So, anyways, he's also in music, and he had an album debut, and for whatever reason, the police were sent to his apartment. C-pop, yeah, C-pop. Hey, I think it's more like rock. I think he's like in a rock band.
He's a
little Chinese rock.
CC rock.
CC rock. Oh my god.
CC rock.
That's not Korean's Clearwater, baby. That's communist Chinese rock. That's what that is. What does that sound like?
Communist China's.
That's sing about in rock form. That's what that is. I bet North Korea has a lock on that market. Anyways, so...
well, hold on a second. Well, just briefly, bro, can we bring up how, like... How does that Yeon-mi chick have following, bro? How did she end up on Joe Rogan?
The chick that was on Joe Rogan that was from North Korea?
Like, okay, never mind. We don't have to talk about it, because she's just not
Well, I'll answer your question, and that's because America is really digging Asian celebrities, I think, right now. Like
I think it's the Asian, right, like, they're playing up the... And this is not to downplay anything.
Yeah.
But like, that's part of the media narrative, though. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of the media right now covers things in a different light. Remember, for a little bit, we were really concerned with, like, Asian hate crimes for a hot minute. But now it's like, we still are, but, like...
It's kind of weird.
I feel like there's just been so many things that we've been dealing with, you know what I mean? Like... We can't pick a problem to solve fast enough.
Like, have you ever been out in public and anybody, like, say anything even, like, derogatory towards... I mean, of course, where we live, we don't really have, like, a tremendous amount of Asian people, but, like, we do definitely have them.
We have a whole neighborhood full of them, bro.
Come on, bro. One neighborhood. Come on, bro. One neighborhood does not necessitate.
They don't all live there. They don't all live there, right? But we have a community that is just majority Vietnamese, Laos, Japanese,
but dude,
some Chinese. Like,
what I'm saying
Eastridge is like literally the
minority. You'd have to admit there's still like a massive minority. Like,
as far as
we don't see them like on the daily
of Amarillo. Well, no, it just depends on what side of town you grew up on, bro.
Well, honestly, I could agree with you on that
because I grew up on the north side of town, and I literally went to school with them all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I went to PD, bro.
That's crazy. Well,
I went to a school where white people were not the majority, bro. in terms
it was
of
that or Caprock for you, my friend.
Well, Caprock was majority.
I went to Tascosa where everything was blended, but even we didn't really have.
It was blended, but it wasn't. It wasn't.
Still, definitely more white kids there, though.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot more white kids there.
It was more blended than fucking Emerald High.
Emerald High, even I don't know. Randall was. I don't know. Randall seemed pretty white to me, but and because I went to.
That's because it was like a country school, man.
Well, dude, at a Randall High School game though, literally the year after I graduated, went to a basketball game because one of my friends was playing in this basketball game. It was his senior year. And somebody from the Randall High School side of the bleachers threw a banana on the court.
Okay.
I went to PD. Like Paladero is literally white people are not the majority.
Yeah, definitely not.
It's Asians, it's Mexicans, it's white people are not. You know what I mean? And
do you think and it's I'm just asking frankly, do you think Amarillo is still in some ways geographically still kind of segregated? It's not culturally segregated, but do you feel like it's still kind of geographically segregated?
I think it's just economically. Economically, yeah, because I didn't get out of that neighborhood until later on in my life.
Right.
And even then, you know what I mean? It took a lot to get out of where we were because my parents were on drugs too. When I came up as a teenager, I got into the game fairly early doing dirty things.
My parents were they had a whole bunch of, young kids and stuff like that, but they were over at one of the not trailer parks, but they're mobile homes, you know what I mean? One of those kind of communities. And it was rough, bro.
Yeah.
And I wasn't born around that, fortunately, but my parents, my brothers and my sister, my mom looks back on those days, she's she looks back on those days I'm so glad we got away from that. She escaped something. That's that's how it affected her psyche, you know.
Well, and
that's crazy to think.
No, because I think about I don't remember the first house that I lived in. You know what I mean? But I do remember my family home growing up as a kid that we rented for a long period of my life, up until I was 14 or 15. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? My parents split up. Then we were all on drugs.
Oh man,
drugs. And I got arrested, and so I went to I basically a prison for kids.
Damn, dude.
And so I was down in Houston, and my parents had to sober up. My mom broke up with my dad and split up, and then, you know what I mean, they got sober. And then once they were sober, they were able to get a nicer place. I came back. I did a little program, so I graduated to basically when I was 16, I could be an adult. Make adult decisions, start doing things that affected my credit and things like that. And they had me live with a guy for 9 months in Houston after I was released, because I did 14 months in the treatment center, and then I think I lived with the guy for 7 to 9 months.
Wow.
He's a really cool dude though. I don't want to put him on blast too loud, but he let me get away with things.
Right.
Simple thing, you know what I mean? He was cool with weed and shit, which he shouldn't have been, you know what I mean? As somebody that's a ward of the state, you are being...
But still, maybe it was probably for the best, because there could have been worse things that you could have been into.
Oh, definitely.
And maybe he understood, maybe if it was just that, it would have helped kept you away from other things.
Well, and he was definitely stern with me about things, you know what I mean? Because, of the things that he did, he worked part-time as, I wouldn't know how to describe his job. He was kind of like a guard. At that place that I worked at, right? He was kind of like a guard at that place that I worked at.
Gotcha.
But he wasn't like a guard. He was just He wasn't a guard. He was just a person there to make sure that like everybody was being chill.
Right.
Because I was locked up with a whole bunch of people that like were either on drugs or like being violent. A bunch of other kids that are like hadn't been convicted of a crime, but we had basically been sentenced to live in this treatment center. This is what they call it. You know what I mean? So I'm living with all the like. I didn't feel like I was personally crazy, but I like at that point in time, like because I was on meth, and then like I got taken away from all that, and so yeah, like I was dealing with a lot, like with my mental,
right? Like you're
with
like
the dependency that my body had, yeah,
right, yeah.
You know, I had developed a dependency in my body, and especially since I was still growing when I started using meth.
Way more worse for you.
Yeah, and I learned really quickly that like antidepressants weren't for me.
Right.
Like that's what I learned when I was in that treatment center, because I started out and they were like, you've been addicted to meth, so you need all these drugs, right? So they forced all the drugs on me, like a sleep med and an antidepressant and a mood stabilizer, and like I don't even remember what all I was taking, right? Wow. But at some point in time, I had a rebellion, and they ended up changing my psychiatrist because he told me one day in a therapy session, like because I'm pretty like rebellious, right? Like I'm like, fuck you, I'll say what I want, I'll do what I want. Nobody's gonna like this is America. I do what I want. And he's like, you're never gonna make anything of yourself. You're never gonna get out of here. And like something he said, like it was like jail. They had these doors that were like magnetic, right? And it took like, I don't know, 1,000 pounds of pressure to open the door, right? And I'm a pretty big kid at that time, probably about 185. And he like, you'll never get out of here. And I just snapped, dude. And I ran at that door, and I hit it hard enough to open the door.
Oh, wow.
And the door opened, and I fucking, like, I remember I ran down. I knew where I could get over the gate, because they had a barbed wire fence, but there was a spot where it was split, and it was like a 8 to 10 foot drop or something. Damn, like
dude,
that.
You made a fucking like a run for
it,
dude.
But here's the thing, right? So I wasn't expecting to get out the door, right? So the door opens. I hit the stairs because I'm on the second floor. The stairs. I run down. I get on top of like this little. There was I think a pool or like a tennis court or something. I think it was a tennis court, right? But there was like a little. It was like a little shed, but it was tall enough that you could kind of hop up on it. Like you could jump and climb up on it. It wasn't like super short, but it was like maybe 7-8 feet tall, just like a storage closet for basketballs, shit like that, right? So I hop on top of it, and then I jump over the gap between the barbed wire, and I hit the parking lot. And as soon as I get there, I'm like, well, I'm out of this place. Don't know what I'm going to do now. I'm outside Houston. About all I know. I was like, to me, it was just making the point in my head. He was like, "You'll never get out of here." You know what I mean? That's what he had the gall to tell me that.
Wow.
So I proved to him in that moment that I could get out whenever I wanted to. You know what I mean? Right. Like I turned myself back in.
Right.
And they kept me in the program. Usually when you, like, they kick you to TIC, Texas Youth Commission, which is like jail for kids. They would have convicted me with a crime.
Damn.
Like, because I was going to be on probation whenever I graduated this program regardless. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Fuck, bro. That fucking sucks, dude. You know, that takes me back to J.C. Chan. He went to prison. You know why he went to prison? And he's Jackie Chan's son, by the way. J.C. Chan.
Shout out to
JC Chan.
Shout out to the
living in California somewhere, living with the masks or with fucking facial surgery, trying not to look like his dad.
He's living with the mask, bro, because there's a mandate in California.
You know what though? He could feel free because you know why he went to prison. He went to prison for a lesser crime. He went to prison for facilitating weed to 3 of his friends in his apartment, or not even his apartment, like in a hotel, and he's in a band, like.
Where though? Where?
Just in like not Hong Kong. It was, I don't know where the fuck it was. It was somewhere in China.
Boom. That's But he
was busted by the cops, dude. Like
if you're an E- celebrity, they like take pictures of you. TMZ takes pictures of you, and you actually get a boost in your ratings.
But does TMZ send the cops to your house because you have 3 ounces of weed and then
this
you go to prison?
This isn't fucking China, bro.
But that's what happened to JC Chan, bro.
Okay, I will say this. There was a singer-songwriter, if I'm not mistaken, in the 50s and 60s, a black singer.
Yeah.
What is it? It's something fruit.
You got me.
Bro, I feel like I should know this.
But yeah, for 3 ounces of weed, that fool went to jail for 6 months. Sad story. And then that motherfucker was like, I'm going to go live in California. The tale of JC Chan.
The tale of JC Chan.
JC Chan, yeah.
Getting locked up.
You know what, though?
Strange Fruit, bro. Written in 1939.
Strange Fruit, yeah. I'm not
sure. Strange Fruit.
I'm not.
I'm not going to be able to play it because I'm sure a record label owns it. But yes, it was Strange Fruit, and it was 1939. We're talking about America, you know what I mean? So when we talk about people having platforms and stuff, like, it's good to have that platform. Use it for what you need. But on with JC.
Oh, but that's it. JC just basically got
She was a heroin junkie, bro. She got addicted to heroin.
JC?
No. The writer of Strange Fruit.
Oh.
And the government went after her. She ended up getting arrested. Yeah.
Wow.
So, I'm putting it into perspective. I'm not saying that, America, we've grown as a country.
Right.
Definitely. This is definitely not 1939 America, but, in 1939 America, our government did shit like that.
Dude, yeah, Orson Welles talks about being monitored by I think, what was it, his boss or something like that.
Well, Strange Fruit was 1939. That was pre-Orson Welles.
Was that during McCarthyism? Because that's when people were getting their phones tapped and stuff like that, and people in Hollywood were being accused of being communist and shit like that. There was actually a couple that was sent to death for fucking just saying that they were communists. Or not even communist. I think they pleaded they were socialists. I think that's what they said. Well, and then they were sent to death.
That shows you how far we've come as a country, though, because we have presidential candidates that openly state that they are socialists.
I guess so, but it's just. I guess what I'm
Democratic,
trying to say,
socialist, whatever.
I guess what I'm trying to say is that the system seems to be easily manipulated to the wrong for the wrong individuals. It seems at any given moment. I don't know, man. It seems if you have enough wealth and you have enough knowledge about how the system works and the ins and outs, and you know just enough people, it seems like you can get a lot of bad things done.
Yeah, well, I mean, okay, that's the thing about America, right?
Well, I think that's right about most of the world, really. It's not just here.
Well, yeah, but in a capitalist society,
it definitely breeds a lot of problems.
In Western culture specifically, because this sets us apart from China as a whole. You know what I mean? Just Western culture in general, and having because a lot of these nations aren't true capitalist nations. Right, yeah. You know what I mean? They have kind of socialist programs and stuff like that, but that's besides the point. They also have. Just you can get private insurance here, you can private insurance on other company or in other countries. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like also here in America, like our advertising is so aggressive, and we advertise everything, not just like certain can be advertised. Like I think in Europe, you can't advertise pharmaceuticals. Like it baffles them to know that we advertise like, pharmaceuticals.
It's hard to toe that line though, because like. And especially in today's society, because what are we doing right now? We're doing a podcast, right?
Right.
So and neither one of us is doing this for money, but we're just carrying on a simple conversation. But like in America, literally everything is being. People are like these TikTok stars. People are selling themselves at a young age. It's selling themselves. Like not. I'm not saying like. In the sense that they're being like little whores or whatever, but you know what I mean? They're basically selling themselves. They're trying to become popular on TikTok, on YouTube. Yeah. I'm putting this podcast out. My daughter could say, "Oh, well, you put out a podcast, so what's your problem with me watching TikTok?"
Well, I think this isn't necessarily a new problem. I think this has kind of been going. Like I think this is like okay. So I think this
new
is
media. Like, it's a thing. Like yeah, it's going to be a constant thing.
What I'm getting at, what I'm getting at is before all this, it was just like I'm sure there were problems like this in like California, right? When like all this stuff was, everybody's wanting to go to California. You know, everybody was wanting to go to California for the movies and stuff. And but now it's just on a bigger level because now everybody can have Hollywood in their fucking basement. You know, you can just make. You know, movies, you can do all these things with media. You know, you don't need an agent. You don't need a director. You don't need these things. You need to know the techniques that is required, but you don't need these people necessarily that needed back then. You know, these specialized things that were actually kind of hard to find back then.
But that's what makes everything so...
Yeah, like, that's what I'm getting at, is that, like, now that we're new age and everybody can just do it freely, now you're just seeing everybody kind of show their ass too, because now you're seeing all the worst end of it too. You know?
But it's a dynamic shift. Like if you think about it, like in terms of America, it's a dynamic shift.
Can I share a quote from Orson Welles? Actually, talks about this specifically.
Yeah,
he talks about. I'm not sure. I'm probably gonna watch it, but he talks about in a
pull
interview.
It up on your phone. You're
more
than welcome to.
I'll just say it, but I've listened to it many times. He's talking to Dick Cavett. This is like a guy who would interview famous people back in the 70s and 80s. Anyways, he would talk about like what did he think the future of filmmaking would be, because Orson Welles was considered like the savant of like, you know, making films. He's the guy who made Citizen Kane, and
yeah,
he's the guy who made everybody shit their pants with you know, War of the Worlds on the radio and things like that. Very, very famous. Almost like infamous amongst Hollywood.
What funny is like there's like you have people who's the big one right now that's made all those movies.
I'm not sure like who you're talking about.
Bro, several people have rewrote those movies, but like I can't think of his name.
Spielberg?
Yeah.
You're talking about War of the Worlds?
Yeah.
Well, anyways.
There are people that have recreated his original ideas a lot, but like there are movies that are unfuckable, like i.e. 1984, right. You know, but...
Check this out. So, anyway, what he said was... Dick Cavett asked Orson, he said, what do you think the future of filmmaking will be? I was just kind of giving you that for context to who Orson Welles was. But Orson responds and he felt like that cameras, and mind you, this was like in the fucking mid-70s, okay, like, or late 70s, maybe early 80s. This guy had a lot of foresight. Said that people, since cameras are becoming smaller and smaller, people will start making more and more home movies, and directors and people like that will become less significant. And you will see more and more what he referred to as experimental filmmaking, and it's exactly what's happening.
Yeah,
is that people are walking around with this fucking thing
what
right
the
here,
fuck is happening
and
right
that
now.
thing right there, and GoPro and shit, and they are showing you know, like their creative output, their perspectives of the world, their interpretations of what they think of, and that is pretty fucking cool. Now, is that for the better or worse of creativity and art? I'm an optimist, and I like to think that it's for the better because it's creating more shit that can be recycled, renewed, and made better. But it also comes with some really goofy, terrible, cringy shit.
Well, and that's just the thing. Like it's the theory. It's like a, you know, for every action there's an equal but opposite reaction. You know what I mean? So with every good comes an equal bad.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like there, you know,
it's like a necessary evil.
Yeah, people find evils, but then they also find the good in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's also subjective, right?
Yeah.
So, like, to me, what is necessarily, you know, bad, like, okay, so, like, to a lot of younger viewers, I'm sure they're just like, dude, there's lots of funny stuff out there. But to me right now, I think there's just kind of like a drought of entertaining shit. But I think I'm just an old fuck.
Well, but that, and we touched on it earlier, it's just because everything is like, there's such an oversaturation.
Yeah, I think that's also, like, there's too much variety.
Driven. Like, well, no, it's purposefully driven to, you know what I mean? Like
demographics, like age demographics,
like, because
everything,
they look at every aspect of your life.
I feel like they figured
out
every demographic of mine. Like, I don't even know what my demographic would be, because, like, I feel like when I try to find a movie to watch that's, like, current.
But that's why the enemy, bro.
That's why I'm
the enemy, bro.
I don't know if I'm the enemy.
You're a straight male. Like, you are the enemy right now.
Well,
so there's nothing for you.
I don't think it's because that's the reason I can't find a good movie. I just think that literally there's just no good writers right now. Like, really,
no, they're out there. They're just like we live in a crazy time.
In my opinion, bro, I feel like most movies are made by committee. They're not made by like an individual with a vision. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
like, because like an individual with like a vision will like.
There's plenty that we don't see though. Like you have to watch. Like you need IFC,
right? The
independent film.
Yeah, that. Okay, I'll give you that. You're absolutely right.
You have to be in touch with like some down home movie shit. Like you need IFC for real.
But isn't that fucking depressing that like now things have gotten so chopped up and split up? Now I have to go fucking search for my fucking media. Like, no longer is it just actively ready for me. I have to go search for that shit and pay more for a subscription.
Well, and I mean, like,
somebody streamline that shit.
You know, like, I have a newer laptop. You know what I mean? And it's still not the greatest. And, like, there will be newer things. Like, I have a great soundboard.
Well, I mean, so check this out. So I have a Fire Stick at my house, and I like it. But you know what I hate is the layout of their everything. Like, when I watch Twitch.
The UI.
Everything is just dog shit. Whoever's making UIs at like Amazon or whatever, y'all need to step your game up because this shit is dog shit. Half the time, dude. Like,
I can say something right now that could possibly get me banned. Learn to code. Done.
Learn to code.
I don't know why that's considered racist or something.
No, it's because it was a response to people who were they were discussing, I think, like. Automated trucks or something like that.
Yeah.
And then like there were some like young ass dudes who were just saying like learn to code to people who are like 50 and 40, you know, like our parents.
Yeah,
that done nothing but ride
that took
trucks.
It offensively though. They took it offensively and it became like, you know, it became a hateful.
Yeah, but it
became a hateful thing, but like.
But it was also used on people who were using it against people, you know, who were like trying to be like, oh, well, you should learn to code. It's kind of like ironic, like because when it was first used, it was used against people against like truckers, and then people who took a hold of that, like trolls, would troll people like I guess like social justice warriors.
Thank
and stuff.
You, internet for trolls.
They would troll them using like their quote or that quote, not their quote, but that quote. They would use that. As like basically like a knee-jerk reaction. They knew they would get it. They were like, "Oh, well, no, that's out of context," or you know.
Now I'm gonna have to go to CB radio and cruise down the highway, find a station, and just go. You know, like, hey, this is. Oh, why do you make Y over here and this here Impala?
Impala.
And I just want to say, learn to code. Can I get a good 10-4, big buddy? And just see what kind of reaction I get.
Well, they probably wouldn't even give a fuck, honestly. It's just people on the internet. See, this is what people
so
get
you
fucked
mean if I streamed it, I would get more of a reaction?
Maybe, but like I'm just saying, like that's not really like the age demographic. That's not in their reality. That's how detached from like technology most of them are. I feel like I feel like most
they
people
don't know what learn to code means.
Like, yeah, that's not even, because, like, they don't hang out. You know where that came from? That came from, like, I think, like, a Reddit forum. How many 50 and 60-year-olds are, like, aren't touching kids or on Reddit?
Dude, my dad's not on Reddit. You know what I mean? My mom's not
They don't even know what that is, right? If you ask them, hey, you on Reddit, they're like, what is that?
But my dad's a Facebook whore, though.
But that doesn't mean shit, dude. That's the fucking SpaghettiOs of internet shit, dude. Everybody's had that shit, bro. Everybody's had that shit.
Bro, why do you
don't like it, but you eat that shit.
Dude, you make a fucking food reference, and all of a sudden I'm like, bro.
You got the hunger? Oh, dude is hungry. Oh, no.
I don't want to plug anything right now, but I could slap some...
Oh, bro. Like
Shabubbles.
Motherfucking Shabubbles.
It rhymes with Shabubbles.
Oh. Wait, no, I don't think I listen to Shabubbles. Chernobyl?
Go ahead and try, bro. Go ahead and try. Like, it'll hit you eventually.
Shabubbles. I don't know. Let's see. I'm gonna listen back on the recording of this and be like, Duncan, you're retarded.
Bro, you are retarded, bro. Like, literally, I don't know.
Shabubbles,
bro. Like, think about it in terms of like, okay, if you're thinking about like photographs of the universe, you go to the NASA Hubble.
Oh, the NASA.
Because I'm relating it to the food item and not the place in general.
Okay, that helps.
It's like the Hubble. You know what I mean?
Got you.
That's one of their top products. Is the Hubble. It's on the cheap menu.
I just want to say that's lame.
Anyway. The Schmick-Flubble?
The Schmick-Flubble? I like a number 5.
Do you get it yet, dude? Do you get it?
No,
have you figured out what I'm talking about?
No, bro.
Oh my god, okay. A fucking McDouble, you fucking...
No, I knew it! I thought there was like a movie reference or something, but you were talking about McDouble.
That's what I was talking about. But how many references how many times did I not have to say it for you to get it?
Well, you said, well, I understood that you were I figured you were talking about McDouble.
What did I say first time?
You said you did not say McFlubble the first time. You said some fucking
I didn't say McFlubble. I said the Sahubble. And then I said something before that.
Sahubble. Now that I think about that one, I was like,
is toasty right now.
Dude, dude, how could you expect me to get Sahubble? Like now I can think about when I get it fully.
Sahubble.
Oh my god. Like
that's
what
dude.
I was like, dude, double.
That's the number one product, bro. The Sahubble. The Sahubble. Dude.
You should have just went with the Saw double. Saw double,
bro.
Saw double.
I couldn't, but I'm not.
Saw double, bro.
Now that you say it, I'm jealous, bro. I'm jealous. Saw.
I saw double.
Saw double, dude.
Saw double, dude.
That's how we're gonna start greeting each other. Like, yeah, dude. Saw double. All right, so we get on Call of Duty tonight. Or
put some saw double in the comments tonight.
We need to get on Splitgate tonight, dude.
If anybody is feeling this segment, clip, or full podcast, put a saw double in the motherfucking chat.
Yeah, we're gonna need
double dude.
We just need y'all in the chat. There'll be links.
Yeah,
in the
hit a like on that
description.
motherfucker.
Subscribe. Like
hit that bell.
I'm pretty. You know, like right now I'm not working and I'm trying to dedicate time to like creating content.
I'm glad you're doing this, man. I'm glad you had me over here.
I'm on the Twitch. I'm trying to do Twitch at least 4 nights a week, at least an hour a day.
Hell yeah, dude.
You know what I mean? Like I set an hour of my day every day to broadcast.
I'm always in your chat, bro. You never interact with me,
dude. It's because it's on my phone, and I'll turn it on to always on, and it doesn't stay on, bro.
I just want to bust your balls, so.
Dude, it irritates me. You know what I mean?
Do you have like an iPad or anything? Just use that, or like
no.
Use this.
All I have is my phone. Well, I could use this for my chat, and it's usually, dude. I've been setting my camera up on it so that I can capture all my art in the background.
And I bet you could put like a bot on there too, dude. Like I think you have to download it because it's like a whole separate application.
Well, I set up
a whole different conversation.
See that I set up rules.
Oh, no, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I saw that, like, when I would enter it greeted me. I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, it tells you there are some rules in there. Like,
you should mod me, bro. Mod me, bro. Give me the power.
I'll mod you.
Give me the power. Give me the band hammer.
But that's just the cool, like, I don't know, we've moved past that's why, like, Hollywood's lost a lot of its power and a lot of its influence. You know what I mean? You're seeing a shift of power right now. You see it in the news. You know what I mean? Because the news is terrified of what's going on YouTube.
And you mean like they can't keep up? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, because like CNN complained about Joe Rogan the other day. Brian Stelter complained about Joe Rogan getting more views.
Really?
More views than him.
He complained about
it.
Define he complained about. Like, what did he say?
Dude, I wish we could just pull up the clip, but he said something along the lines of basically like Joe Rogan isn't the news.
Well, he's not, obviously.
Yeah, he's not. He's not the news.
Yeah.
But I'm reporting in the news. How do I not get the numbers that he gets? You know what I mean? That's basically what he said. So he was
just complaining that people don't watch the news. His news.
His news. They don't watch his news. Yeah.
Fucking.
Basically, that's basically what he was saying. And he didn't call Joe Rogan out by name, but he was just saying, like, he was like, this person is not even a news person, and they get more views than...
But everybody knew who he was talking
about. Exactly. You know what I mean? Because, like, people, you know what I mean? Because YouTube is this place, and people, you know what I mean? Like, when you think of right-leaning figures, like, a lot of people want to throw Ben Shapiro in there, but, like, I saw him do videos about it, like, immediately afterwards. You know what I mean? Like, look at this fool trying to impinge on our freedom.
Have you seen that? Have you seen that meme of Ben Shapiro's sister? And it's like,
dude, isn't she hot?
Yeah, she is. But like, there's like a picture of like her, and like it says like the cat says like your sister's a milk truck. No, it's just like, dude, that's so fucking funny. Dude, she has some big kazungas. Let's just say that.
That's cool, bro, but like, so is she proportionate? Like,
well, I mean, I haven't seen it without the top, but I'm just saying that like, the picture I saw showed very nice.
He plays violin. Does she play any instruments? Like,
well, I'll put it this way:
player?
This may turn you off to her. This turned me off when I thought about it. It kind of looks like a sexy Ben Shapiro,
dude. You can't even fucking say that. You can't even
I've ruined
say that,
for you, bro. I've ruined it before you even saw it.
Like, that is the biggest anti-boner thing anybody has ever said.
But it's the truth. It's the truth. They have the same nose and everything.
Like, that is the anti-boner. And see, like, now when I go through and edit this, I'm going to have to be like, yo, make sure you get in the anti-boner thing.
But, like, they really do look, like, similar in the face. Like, their eyes and stuff like that. Like,
bro, but it's funny because, like, it's just funny how that works out. Like,
yeah,
because, like,
funny.
I worked at this place called IDK, right? And the owner was this redneck white dude. He had, like, this chicken neck. He was scrawny and, like... His daughter looked exactly like him.
Right.
And she got knocked up.
Oh, man.
Like, she was only like 20, 21, bro.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's, about average around here, I guess.
I mean, I don't know how old I was at. I'm like 23, 24, something like that. Maybe 25. I don't know. Somewhere around in there. But, like, and I had already had a kid. Mm-hmm. But... Man, it was just she looked exactly like him, bro.
That's crazy how like genetics work, you know. Like what genetics?
She did have a nice butt. She just wasn't proportionate. She had a flat ass chest, but she did have a nice butt, though. I was like,
on a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the most attractive, what would you give her?
Her?
Yes.
Ooh, bro. Like, if I'm being completely honest with myself, I'm going to put her probably at like a 5.
At a 5. Okay. Well,
maybe a
fair.
6.
That's fair. At least she's not a 3.
No, yeah, definitely not a 3. Like, if she worked on herself, she just no.
Okay.
Not for me. You know what
not
I mean?
for me. Not for
and
me.
I think in general, like, really, whoever pumped a baby in there made a mistake.
Oh.
But I made a mistake. You know what I mean? So I can't say shit.
Hey, you know what?
But that was a mistake.
Life.
Because if you look at how much she looks like her dad, you definitely don't want your kids to look like her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm glad my daughter looks more like me than she looks more like her mom. Like, I appreciate that.
You got lucky, man. You got lucky, bro. Oh man, fucking. What were some other topics we were going to talk about? You want to talk about games?
We can talk about games.
What are you looking forward to?
Because I mean, like I also wanted to get into art styles and stuff. So like, this is a perfect segue to get into that. Like, I don't know. When we talk about games, I do have a PC. I have this old Alienware here, and it's just not serious about running games in general. It's just old, so it's out of date. So I play mostly on my Xbox, you know what I mean? And so, like, the state of games and games as a service right now is what's really interesting to me. You know what I mean? Because Microsoft really has this really big approach, and they're hitting this super hard. You know what I mean? Like, you can get on Steam. You know what I mean? You get a lot on Steam. You get a lot through being a member on Steam.
There's a lot of them. They're all selling you like these free services, or free games.
Because games have become a service. You know what I mean? And they're constantly profitable. People like, you know what I mean? It's the same. Just what Microsoft is doing with the Halo Chief Collection right now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, now that you can get it on PC through Xbox Game Pass.
Right.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
You know what I mean?
That is pretty
just like you can get the Ascent for free if you have a membership to Xbox Ultimate.
Yeah. Like, but I mean, there's a lot of services like that. I'm not sure if they were the first ones to like. I'm not sure if they were the ones to pioneer it, but they might have been. But there are a lot of services. Their push.
I like Microsoft's push to try and, because they've already announced it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they have basically, because I'm a member. I've been a member since the early days of Project X Cloud, which is the beta streaming software. So, like, and I have early access to beta streaming of games. Like, I don't want to get it wrong, but I can probably play the Ascent on my phone.
Right? Yeah, like they can like mirror it or something. Right?
No. I can literally take my phone, and if I have Wi-Fi, I bring my controller with me everywhere. If I have Wi-Fi, I can jump on a Wi-Fi and just play from my saved game from my Xbox, because my Xbox is connected to Wi-Fi, and my saved progress has been uploaded to the cloud. I can literally play my game from my phone with my Xbox controller hooked up.
Yeah, you can do the same thing on Steam.
And they've got the Steam Deck coming, which looks super awesome.
That does look pretty.
You know, like, it looks like, in terms of like, because of the price gap, that's one thing that gets me, is the price gap. And I realize that you're getting a lot for your money either way, like when it comes to mobile gaming, because of what Steam offers.
Especially in today, like today, it seems like it's more than ever, like, I don't know, more viable to have like a mobile setup, you know?
And let's be honest, though, like, people that don't know about PC gaming don't understand the full capability of a Steam Deck. Well, you know what I mean? Because basically at this point you're running an operating system. You know what I mean? Like, Steam is just an app. You're running a whole operating system under that, so you can do you can do other things, and then they have the trackpads. They have a whole bunch of things that can be used in different ways.
Yeah,
that sets it apart from the Switch and anything you do mobilely with, say, Game Pass or whatever, like PlayStation Analog Play. I don't know how all that works, but
I can get mad at Steam all day for not supporting games and not making or was it the third sequel to games, because they always stop at 2. But what they do very well, and I have to commend them for, is try to innovate still in gaming, because that's innovating seems to be less and less these days. It seems to be more about just going by a formula and making money, which I understand.
But that's another industry that's
they used to go hand in hand when I was younger.
But that's another industry that, because I'm sitting here making excuses about my PC. But if I put some of the money, the streaming cameras that I've bought, and my soundboard and everything, I could have already built a pretty decent PC with a decent.
They're not as expensive as you think. Really.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I could have built. I realized with the money that I've spent to be able to podcast, mics, mic arms, so on and so forth, I literally could have built a computer with that money, and a decent computer, something that's capable of running a stream or running games,
have more
and
utility.
Capturing. Yeah,
and they typically last longer. And like you said, they have more use than, say, necessarily a console. I like consoles.
Well, and you can update them too.
That too. I like consoles because they're convenient. Or they used to be a bit more convenient because they would just immediately play a game. Now it's you have to fucking update your game every week, it seems like.
But that's games as a service, though. That's games as a service.
Right.
So you have to keep up. The service has to keep up with you, but they're forcing it on you. You know.
See,
what I mean?
I feel like the word games as a service is just a way to skirt around not finished game. You know what I mean? How do you sell that to a public? Because these games are never fucking finished.
And they always offer these hot fixes, and it's never fixed. Warzone is a perfect. Warzone is going to be like that, and I'm interested to see how Battlefield performs. I'm interested to see, because I saw a beta play of Halo,
right?
And I saw beta play or pre-alpha play of Battlefield 2042, and you know what I mean. I'm just. With Call of Duty, with all the money they have, why are cheaters ruin the game right now?
Because the cheats are really cheap, bro, and everybody's doing it.
But, bro.
And it's not just Call of Duty Warzone. The reason there's all the focus on Call of Duty Warzone is because that's the most popular game to watch. That's it. It's not necessarily because.
Well, it's definitely fun to play.
Yeah, I agree. But the reason that so much attention is being brought to it, and it's been like this for it's not it just all of a sudden happened.
Become superstars playing it, bro.
Well, the reason that people now are talking about it is because nobody's streaming it. That's really big. It's because they're basically doing a silent boycott of the game, and it's kind of interesting to see, because I want to see how long they're going to hold out. I think most of these streamers are waiting till the next game, Halo or Battlefield or whatever. They're
I see it already, with them playing, you know what I mean?
Apex.
Nick and Tim, they were playing Apex, and Doc played a little bit of Apex, and Z and Doc got together and played some Splitgate. There's just a lot of options out right now. You know what I mean? We played The Ascent, and that's a really fun game, bro, and it's beautifully designed. It's a really gorgeous game. There's a lot of depth to it that I haven't gotten to yet.
Right, yeah, but
the story, to me, so far, I just feel like the introductory part has been too drawn out for me.
Oh yeah, I feel you.
I want to be they set it up to where it can be open world, but it's it's steered in a direction level wise,
right?
That you can't just when you're level 8, you can just go up against a whole squad of level 18 people,
right? I don't know, dude. I feel there's the reason that there's so many cheaters and stuff like that on Warzone and a whole other games is basically because They're easy to get right now, man. Like, they're probably more profitable than they've ever been. And I'll tell you another reason. Money. Cheaters follow the money, man. Black markets are always made when there's profits to be made. And when you have tournaments, like, look at the garbage, excuse my language, but the garbage Splitgate tournament that we watched that was for $10,000.
Oh, yeah, for real, though.
They literally had teams that were just day one players. And then they had two teams. They maybe had two teams, that were actually, like, knew what they were doing.
And they got put out. Yeah. They got put out. So, you know what I mean?
So what I'm trying to say is, like
not that we want to defame those streamers in any way.
Yeah, I'm just saying that when that much money, when that was $10,000 for a seemingly nobody competition, you know what I mean? When these people literally
for a game that like literally just became crossplay, that just became available to everybody. Well, you know what I mean? That has been look, if these dudes are serious in the first place, because it is a fun game. Splitgate is a fun game.
I'm not arguing that. I'm saying that, like, I'm just stating that $10,000, like, that was for, like, nothing. That's how much money is being thrown around. So, like, that's why cheats are shit, man. Because, I mean, there's a lot of money being just thrown around, dude.
But, I mean, yeah, but they're required, like...
Because a lot of these guys who are throwing up these tournaments, dude, are like have endorsements by products. But
that's what makes these tournaments interesting, though, and especially with games like Splitgate, because they can control who's in the lobby. You know what I mean? Like with these much smaller lobbies, they can control who's in the lobby. They can squelch the cheating because they can. They only send invites to certain people.
I think it's always still going to be there, though, dude. Like it's always going to be there, like in everything.
Yeah, but there's a way, like, for us, now you're making excuses for there to be reasons to cheat, bro.
No, I'm not saying, look, I'm not saying that Splitgate has a cheating problem.
No, I'm not saying that Splitgate has a cheating problem either. I'm just saying, like, people...
Cheats follow the money, and there's more money in Warzone than any right now.
This is true.
Debate me.
No,
other than WoW, maybe
I don't have to make that argument with you.
I know, I'm just teasing
that is what it is, because like real play game prefer like the skill of the game, like what it requires to be good at the game. Like we have our good games, and like we get on and we get smacked, and it's depressing.
And let's just face it, like how easy is it in Call of Duty to cheat? Because it's an easy premise. You just find people and kill them for the most part, right? So it's easy just to, like, you wouldn't have to have any real game knowledge to equip a few cheats and just look good, you know? Like, it's like the instant look good package. It's not like some other games where it would require, like, some kind of game knowledge, you know? Like, oh, I need this, this, and this. It's like, no, grab gun, go aim at him, shoot, die.
Yeah.
Run.
Yeah.
Go grab his guns. Now I'm better. You know, go kill other people.
This is true.
It's really simple. So it also helps perpetuate the cheating, not just the money. You know, it's also easy to do it because it's not a complicated game.
Dude, there's so many games that not only are like in the market currently, that people are playing that don't get a lot of it, and I want to say this, bro. I watched some footage from Forza 5 on the Series X.
Did it look good or bad?
Oh my god! Did it look good? Oh my god, dude! It looks
car games
so
always
good.
Look great.
Well, I mean, just because it runs in native 4K.
Yeah.
And it's got ray tracing, like
sound.
And the sound design is amazing. Like, of course, the Forza I'm pretty sure it's Turn 10 that does the Horizon games, and like, dude, it's beautiful.
You know what really depresses me about Warzone is that, like, I think I actually like this game more than any other Call of Duty. Right? Like, it feels fast and stuff, and you can do some cool shit. But just the negligence of the game, dude, really does suck the soul out of the entire fucking game. And I never thought it would really be that big of a deal, because like just playing with it, just enjoying it as a game, you're just kind of like, okay, well, this is just fun. But then after a while, it really does grind on you when you like every 7th game, you're like, I'm not even a high KDR, and I'm running into fucking cheaters. Is it really getting to this? You know,
like, that is, and that's why I think. But it's become so common that even the people that like benefit from it the most, you know what I mean? Even these big popular streamers are like, yo, I have to turn my back because that bad.
Well, I think a lot of them wanted to do it for a long time because the game is just super grindy. Like I said, like the simplicity of it is like the goodness of it, but it's also the badness of it too. It's
I don't feel like that's fair either because like you can get guns.
Well, yeah,
early access to guns by getting.
I don't blame necessarily
blueprints early. And that, and the other, bro.
I don't blame like the game loop. I blame just because of like what we were just talking about, like the whole cheating and everything. Like that's got to be because this has been going on for not just a few weeks, dude. This has been going on for at least a year, right? Like ever since I've been playing. Like I haven't played.
Well, since the game came out, it's been longer than a year for sure.
Yeah, like
it's been longer than a year. Because we're already into season 5 of Black Ops.
So it's like technically what, season 10?
They
had 5 in the last one?
I don't know.
I think they had 5 in the last one, so it's like 10 total.
Could be.
That's how they disguise how many they really got. Because nobody'd buy fucking Battle Pass season 10.
Well, because now they're blending it between both games. You know what I mean? It restarted whenever the new game came out.
How is Fortnite doing? I heard that they just recently did a concert with what's her face.
They had Travis Scott do a concert on there.
Well, I think they had somebody else too.
Several people have done concerts. Some DJ Marshall.
Yeah, I knew about that one. Yeah.
Yeah, but.
Do you think that's
a different platform? Like, it's another one of those things. Like,
do you think it's going to keep carrying its momentum, or do you think it just fade away? Kind of.
I think eventually, as it sits right now, with as much competition as there is, like they're going to have to. Yeah. Like, there's no way to just keep dragging this out.
I agree.
You know what I mean? There's no way that you can just continue to drag it out seasonally. You're going to have to put out something new and fresh.
I agree.
Like, even though this is your bread and butter, like, that there could be improvements in the game. Like, you know what I mean? And you look at all the other games in the market. Like, think about one thing that PUBG offers. You know what I mean? Like, you can jump into a lobby third person and then play FPS if you want to. You know what I mean? That's a pretty cool feature to be able to do. You know what I mean? Because it adds a different layer to the game. You know what I mean? Imagine what Fortnite would be in an FPS with a different. You know what I mean? Like how much that would change building, and how much it would change the game. You know what I mean? Because it would completely change the game. But and they wouldn't even have to because. If they released it in an FPS, they could release it under the guise of a new game,
or an
basically.
Update, maybe. Well, as a new game, you couldn't do update. Yeah,
you do a new game, and then you make it to where you use the new market with the new consoles. You say, okay, we're offering Fortnite 2, which is basically like it'll come with a specific map that's built for the Switch, to be able to switch from first and third, or just play in first person mode, right? And then you can also, with the newer consoles, you can also play the old map in first person mode.
Okay. That would be pretty cool. It's kind of like what GTA did.
Yeah, it would disadvantage you to a point. But it would also make players that care about the game get more skilled at it.
I got you.
It would make the game
more of a skill gap.
Yeah, exactly. The cream of the crop would rise to the top, bro.
Basically, Rockstar repackaged GTA basically just like that. Now,
and they're doing it again. They're doing it again, bro. They're re-releasing it for the Series X and the PS5.
What are they gonna do to it this time?
Just 4K ray tracing and
I don't
know what else, bro.
It's gonna be the new Skyrim. Dude.
I keep hearing little
be on every stuff.
I'm steering away from the little leaks I see about GTA 6. You know what I mean?
Oh my god, yeah. Isn't it supposed to be like Vice City or some shit?
I heard today that they're doing a remaster of all the old ones.
God, if that's
they're doing a remaster
take all my money. Oh my god, they're gonna take all my money.
Vice City and.
Oh, don't tell me that.
They're doing remaster. No, I think they're going to package it all as one.
Oh my god!
And it'll be a $70 collection.
What?
Guaranteed, bro.
What?
Well, I don't know. They could probably even go like.
Is this in the GTA 5 engine?
No,
if it is, I will straight bust a nut.
Well, they say remaster. Rockstar is serious about remasters.
Oh, you know so they just up the graphics.
I don't know. Rockstar does remasters differently. You know what I mean?
And their ports are garbage on PC, dude. Like the fucking GTA 4 still doesn't fucking work basically on Steam by itself, unless you just have that magical.
See, and
PC
that's where games as a service. That's where, you know what I mean. Like if Microsoft can get its grubby little hands on a deal with Rockstar and put it on Game Pass, dude, it's over.
But they don't. But dude, Rockstar don't need that money. They got so much money.
Yeah, they don't need that money. But imagine what Microsoft would be willing to pay.
Yeah,
to have a chunk of that to be able to feature that game on their Game Pass.
I just feel like, and of course, I don't follow Rockstar or anything like that. I just feel like,
but I mean, because you think about the games that they offer, you know what I mean. But like, they're really not offering a lot, though. You know what I mean? Because they're franchise games like Red Dead Redemption. You know what I mean? Red Dead Redemption 2 was good, but like didn't even play through it all.
Yeah, nobody's playing that shit. No one's even playing the online that I know of, really.
Dude, it was interesting, but it was too much for me.
Maybe it was just too
Even
empty.
Red Dead was too much for me, bro.
Yeah, Red Dead was cool.
It was cool, but it was like, in terms of what you could do,
right?
With GTA, you could always do a hell of a lot more.
Dude, I was watching some gameplay of GTA 4. It looked like they had way more ideas of like the chaos that they wanted you to feel in the game. Like, I'm watching this 20-second clip, you know, and this car is getting chased, and it's called like Most Dedicated Cop in New Liberty or some shit, you know. And,
that sounds like something somebody would put on the internet.
Yeah, well, it is, because I'm telling the truth here. Anyways,
it's a great clip. I've seen it so many times.
So like the hood of the car is like, you know, up because he's like hit something, and as he's like accelerating down the highway trying to get away from his cop, the fucking hood flies off and like, you know, nearly hits the cop car in the back, and I was just like, dude, and I think that happens in 5. Does that happen in 5? I was like, Jesus, like, I don't know. Like, sometimes,
does it happen in 5 though?
I think they come off. They definitely come off, but I don't know if they fly back like a fucking, you know,
dude,
projectile.
You know they should. Come on.
Well, they should, obviously, but
because like when we talk about games and stuff, and we talk about these major companies and franchise games, like you have to think about it like, I don't know, a lot of people don't know what goes into a game, but you have to use assets that you already have. You know what I mean? Right. So why not capitalize on something you already have?
Well, a lot of that time is because the engine has become already outdated. Because once they start working on these things, like they might be state of the art, like maybe like that 5 years, right? But by the time,
how long has because what
it took them like 10 years, I think, to make like GTA 5.
But no, I'm talking Unreal 5, like from Unreal 4 to Unreal 5.
Oh, do you mean like the engine? Oh, you mean to like transfer like another game?
No. I'm just talking about years of the generation from Unreal 4 to Unreal 5.
If I had to guess,
did it go through console generations, or did it happen between console generations?
I think it happened like a little bit before maybe console generations, maybe, because that's how a lot of consoles.
So like pre 360, like between the box and the 360.
Well, yeah, a lot of console like Xbox would try to sell you
that would be Unreal 4
or Unreal 4, you know, and then they would show you Unreal Tournament, you know, so that.
And then of course Xbox One capitalized on the end of Unreal 4.
But I don't know.
Now we're moving to Unreal 5, which Xbox Series X is going to be able to capitalize on.
But I don't know if that's how the development cycle works, or if that's just how they advertise it. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure there's because there's like the Frostbite engine. And shit.
Oh, I know there are plenty of other engines because like
Origin engine or some shit.
But because there's such a and that's the cool thing about like everything becoming so accessible, bro, is that there are a lot of new studios for everything. There are people putting out new video. There are people putting out new games. There are people working on every facet.
Right.
of like, you know what I mean. We were talking about art, and I love graffiti art. Sure, love graffiti art, and graffiti art's real big in Germany. And I'm also really big in. We were going to talk about anime for a bit.
Okay.
And just art design in general. Like, I'm generally captivated. Most people are.
What are your thoughts on
art.
Banksy as like an artist? I don't know much about him, but he's got some cool shit.
I mean, as far as a street artist, like, I appreciate what he's done for the culture of street art, but at the same time, like, it's one of those capitalistic things. You know what I mean? Like, now it's become obnoxious.
Well, now it's become
now the
like
things that
mainstream.
he does become, you know what I mean? Like, the last portrait that he painted had a self-shredder. Bro, like, how over the top can you be?
Well, maybe he's just trying to make a statement, you know? But, like, it does seem a bit obnoxious, doesn't it?
Bro, well, I mean, like, you can easily, like, it's easier to make a
self-shredding art, bro.
Bro, but it's easier to make a more iconic piece.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
but it wasn't
I
that
can
his
paint
thing?
something today. You know what I mean? Like, something that's deep, ornate, detailed, and then just throw a simple to go over it.
Did you hear about that?
That says replaceable. And I would do it. Because, like, every piece of art will eventually be replaced.
Oh, yeah. Or recycled,
you know what I mean? Like, well, yeah, because we look at Mona Lisa, blah, 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 blah. Like, people, yeah, like, is it worth millions and millions of dollars? Yes, but just like every individual, there aren't a lot of artists that get super popular in the world, but, like, just like this art I have on the wall, like, nobody else has these pieces.
Right, yeah, so it makes it, but so that makes it, like, what would you call it?
I mean, the sentimental value there for me, for sure, but, and especially in the top one, because I did that one. The satellite is a microphone, because I spit freestyles. The Earth actually is, like, geographically correct. And if you pay attention, there's a man on the moon that's fishing.
That is very specific.
There's the storm on Jupiter. And of course, like, as an artist, I realized that, like, every mistake, every imperfection, everything perfect. So you see the time that I took detail, Saturn, and how it's depicted. It's actually depicted, like, correctly in its coloration.
Wait a minute. What do you?
But the drip that came down when because I stenciled the circles on there. I'm not gonna lie, and then I did all the detail afterwards.
Oh, nice!
And yeah, I could have thrown a few more shadow, Jupiter, or, you know, this.
So
that,
you're telling
and
me
the
a
other.
NASA nerd came in here, they would look at that and they'd be like, "Bro, I am impressed. That is actually pretty."
Yeah, because
pretty
all
accurate.
the planets are actually in order and in the properly colored. You look at Mars, it's properly colored, and it's actually got the scar on it.
Oh, very nice.
So, yes, I think somebody that, like, appreciates, I not astrology, but just astronomy in general, would appreciate the fact that I got the planets in order. I took the time to, like, do the research and color them accordingly. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm glad I'm being paged by Batman.
By Batman.
By Batman, yeah.
Where is she?
Where is she?
Where is she?
Yeah, I'm glad that you thought I was Joker and not Robin. Thank you for giving me that credit.
No, that was you being Batman.
That was me being Batman? Okay.
Maybe not.
Well,
Maybe
now I need to stop
situation.
self-deprecating
You
so much.
Bitch.
I'm a self-deprecating bitch over here. Paranoid as fuck.
Self-deprecation is important in life. It makes you funny.
It can be, but it
makes you funny.
You
know what I mean? Because you're already funny looking.
Oh, thank you.
You definitely
that
need to be
that's
funny too.
The pain. Give me the pain.
Bro, it's all good because I mean, like, and I brought this up. We're talking about moving to Germany, bro.
Let's hang on. Before we talk about that, let's talk about anime since we're on art.
Oh yeah, we were talking about anime. So like, what do you want to know about anime? And I mean,
so I'm an anime casual. Just to kind of give you a little preface of my anime experience.
Well, I'm not a super, and if we're gonna preface this,
yeah.
I'm not like super deep into anime either. Like I do a lot of things. I dabble my toes in a little bit of everything.
Okay.
But I do have a deep appreciation for just the art and the concept of anime in general.
Likewise, and I'm the same. Most of mine is from like the early '90s, from like films mostly. Because when I was younger, we'd go to the film or like the movie store, go grab some movies. And then that's, what you would watch. And, like, I would get to pick, like, at least one movie, right? So I would always pick it just by cover, because I didn't have any friends who knew anime.
Yeah.
So that's how I got exposed to most of my anime. And so for me, I don't really watch any anime now, because anime just seems like it consumes up so much of your time. Like, holy shit. Well, and a lot of it seems like it's full of the same tropes to me that I have seen so many times.
It becomes repetitive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And some people do that, but I'm just not
people
that
do,
cat.
But I'm not. Yeah, it's not for everybody. And, like, and while we're on the subject, like, that's the one thing about animes and what I wanted to talk about, especially when it comes to anime, is just the unoriginality of what today's anime is, because like when I think about original animes, like, when you talk about movies, I know, like, I can mention one by name that everybody should know is Akira.
Right.
You know, everybody should know that movie. Everybody should know that movie. If you are serious about anime, then you've seen that movie.
Yeah, go watch that movie.
Or even if you're not serious about anime, you've probably seen that movie.
Or Princess Mononoke. That's a good one.
Well, and like Studio Ghibli puts out some crazy ass fucking films, you know what I mean? But like, that's only one facet of the animated studio game. You know what I mean?
I think there's plenty of creative anime out there. I personally couldn't name any because I don't watch any. I'm sure there is though, because there's lots of it out there. But like, I just feel like I just kind of got exposed to like the golden age of like movie anime. So like it's hard for me to appreciate like TV series anime because like we just said, there's just so many tropes and it gets very repetitive and it just becomes like this. Like I just don't. Like when I was younger, I could kind of relate with the characters. Now I literally have no relate. I can't. There's like nothing for me to like as a viewer, detach myself and just kind of like enjoy it, you know?
Well, I don't know. It seems like a lot of anime do have the same kind of tropes, you know what I mean? There's always like a love story, this, that, and the other, but there are different reasons of like, you know what I mean? Like, I like a lot of the 90s series.
Mm-hmm. And they have tropes too.
Yeah.
They are definitely full of that shit too.
You know?
But I just felt like
I'm a huge Bleach fan. Tattoos on me, Bleach. Tattoos on me.
I'm a sucker for like the hand-drawn shit, bro. Like that, like 60-frame animation shit is just bar to none, you know, or not bar to none. I don't even know what the fuck that means. It's second to none, you know.
I mean,
or it's the first. It's the best. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I'm not even saying things right.
Well, but it's one of those things that evolved really quickly. You know what I mean? Just because of technology.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It became easier to use technology.
And I understand that.
It goes with video games and everything else. You know what I mean? It's the most productive way to get things
I just
done.
prefer. And I understand it takes so much time.
Because like Cowboy Bebop is like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's amazing. I don't think it was hand-drawn, though.
I don't think it was either.
I mean, the characters were, but...
Or at the very least, they were like there was like this transition when they were just starting to get into like computer drawing. Or not computer drawing, but you know what I'm saying. Not like they weren't drawing on paper anymore.
Yeah, the early transit, but those were still solid animes, though.
Yeah, there's no doubt about them. There's still solid animes that are drawn that way, but it just felt like there was more like soul in the imperfection of someone drawing something.
Yeah,
you know, because like the guys that were drawing that stuff like in the 80s and the 90s. Anime that I was watching, I mean, they were, I think, some of like the grandfathers, or like not the grandfathers, but like some of the most significant animators. Well, maybe, yeah, but they were like some of the guys who wrote stories. You know, like they're on the same, I guess, level as like animation level as like the Looney Tunes guys and the voice actors of that stuff, the writers of those kinds of things. Like they were that caliber where it literally endures the test of time. Like like a lot of anime and a lot of things that are made today, like will be tested by time. Like who's going to remember it?
And but that's true of all things, though.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And there's always going to be.
But greats, I feel like art is more volatile or is more susceptible to it because it just diminishes so fast, unless it's the person who made it. You know?
But it's gonna. That's just the thing. Like everything touches people differently. You know what I mean?
In a different time. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's why I appreciate series like Cowboy Bebop. Right. It's always been one of my favorite series. It was because it was short. It was always to the point. Mm-hmm. I didn't like and we've talked about this. I didn't like the way it ended. I would have liked to see more of it, but I like that it was like short and to the point. I liked that the story that it told was interesting, and it introduced me to things that I'd never like seen before. Right. You know what I mean?
A lot of animes like that.
The whole trans thing, all the gay stuff that happened in it.
Psychedelic space mushrooms.
Yeah, dude. Like that's literally how I got introduced to a lot of things, and like so I have a lot of sentimental draw to the series, but I prefer a series like that. Gundam Wing, only 49 episodes.
Right. Yeah.
And it's one of the best.
Outlaw Star was one of the shorter ones too, right? Did you see that show? Outlaw Star.
Yeah.
It was like one of the shorter ones.
Yeah, 39. I think it was only like 39 episodes or something like that.
Did you ever see Deep Blue? It was like a mini-series.
I don't think so.
6 episodes, and it was like Submarine Blue or Deep Blue
bro.
And they had like shark people and fucking submarines. So anime.
I used to have a Funimation account. I quit paying for it though.
It was like the shark hybrid people versus man. It was crazy, bro. It was nuts. It was cool though. They had like submarine battles because of course they did.
Dude,
and they made them all like acrobatic.
Think about every Gundam, bro. Literally, like that was the one cool thing about Gundam.
That's what made you watch it, was just the battles. That's what Dragon Ball was all about.
Definitely, bro.
We didn't care about the dialogue. We like literally sat through the worst dialogue human beings could sit through in filler just to get to these awesome fighting scenes.
We would, because we would be mid Kamehameha when they throw a couple of side episodes our way.
What does Bulma think
before we figured out? Before we figured out who actually won between Super Saiyan Goku and Frieza. Like we're waiting to see the outcome of this Kamehameha.
Or he's literally going Super Saiyan 4. Like you didn't even think it was possible. You'd only seen it in like trading cards as a North American kid, and like it's happening, and then they're gonna give you a fucking full 20-minute like episode about Oolong's underwear fantasy or some bullshit.
Underwear.
Yeah, and you're just like, this is fucking fuck all. And then they keep you at a cliffhanger at the end because they show you 5 minutes of him transforming and then literally blowing his load at the bad guy. And he's just like, look at how fucking strong I am. And then he's just, and then like the bad's like, like freaking out. And then it's just like, to be continued.
Now, dude, I'm gonna start hitting girls with that. I'm
gonna tell them that your power level's too high, bro.
I mean, here's the thing, Dunk. Sometimes I be faking. You know what I mean? To make them feel like they've accomplished something.
Oh my god! Now that's what's gonna get you strike on YouTube right there. They're gonna be like a what's the word? I was gonna say masochist. Misogynist, not masochist. Misogynist,
bro. Well, I mean,
misogynist.
Like, look, dude. Like, I don't. It's not necessarily like a conversation I want to have, but like,
right.
It's part of the game that we play when you're doing.
Play?
As adults,
I'm playing. Yeah, I got you. I know. I'm teasing
when it comes to that thing that we do, that game that we play, like I play it to the fullest. Like I use, you know what I mean? Just like they use things, you know what I mean?
I understand.
So yeah,
so you use a little psychological warfare. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, bro. I tell everybody constantly, like you have to use every.
But what is it?
Like every tool that you have, but that also requires you to be mindful of all the tools you have at your disposal at the time.
Okay. Can I ask you something real quick? Who's going to be your next guest?
I don't know yet.
You don't know yet?
I don't know yet.
You should get our fellow. We're not going to say his name, but you should get our fellow teammate. We should convince him
Oh, he wants to.
He does?
Yeah, because he wants to do a sports-specific one.
He wants to. Oh, fuck.
But, like, I invited him to come down, but he didn't. And that's why I had that one set up, just in case. Right. You know what I mean? We could have easily
do you think he will agree?
Yeah, definitely.
He will?
I think he
Awesome.
will. I think he will.
Okay, I'm excited. I'm gonna tune into that
because
episode.
I don't know. We've talked about some things that I know made him uncomfortable just by his reactions. Like, and it was because we talked about some shit that was political. You know what I mean?
Right. And it's understandable, dude.
Yeah,
like that stuff can be. It's like walking through a landed field.
Well, and that's why I don't want to, like, when I podcast, I don't want to talk about political shit unless I'm talking to somebody that takes politics
also
seriously.
Because I think a lot of people, like, who want to hear that stuff seek it out.
Yeah.
You know? Like, that's a very specific kind of
this is more about, like, having a genuine conversation.
Yeah, this is more about just like, hey, this happened today, or what do you think of Wack Chan and his son J.C. Chan? By the way, did y'all notice that he named his son J.C. Chan? Do you know why? Probably because his name is Jackie Chan.
Did we do enough research to find out if his name was actually Jack Chan?
No, that's not his real name. His actual name is... You want me to look it up real fast?
I mean, you can.
Make up for dead air real fast.
Well, I mean, I was just going to say, like, I have been straying away from social media, but I'm going to put it out there. Like, I do have an OnlyFans, and it's free.
Shit.
It's a free sub. I do put out some premium content, but that's besides the point. Like, it's one of those social media platforms.
What's that like? Do you get to meet? Like, I found his name, but I want to ask you something real fast. Do you since you've started that? How long? It doesn't really matter how long.
It's only been like a week or so, and I haven't like really followed anybody or like.
I was gonna say, like, have you bumped into any other other OnlyFans hoes?
Not really. Like, I know but I know the thotties.
The thotties, is that what they're called? The thotties.
I know some of the thotties, and I know some of them that I would support. Like, I don't have a problem. Like, you know what I mean?
Like, they actually provide a good service.
Yeah. Well, like if we talk in terms of service, like it depends on the addiction level. Like, I don't really have a high like drive to follow, but like depending on what a girl offers on her OnlyFans, because some of them throw out like little teaser clips. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And if they're putting out something that I'm like, all right, like I'm a no simp dude. Like, I don't want to be part of that culture, but that's like, that was one of the things that I just had to accept. Like, it's just part of the thing nowadays. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I understand.
And like I was saying, it goes to the point of use every tool that you possibly can.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And
because
it's man, have an OnlyFans, bro. That's
well, and
you're a gangster, bro.
Well, and I have plans for the type of content that I want to put out. I want it to be like, I don't, you know what I mean? Because it's more like you're offering yourself as a service, basically, right?
Yes, you are.
You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly what it is.
Like, I want to, like, and now that I know what I can do, like how I can set things up, I know what I can charge for. Like, I know how to, like, I've looked at how it operates, and I've come up with a business plan on how to operate it. And I want to put out a bunch of content, just like aim towards, like, I want to have, and it'll be weird how it works out, but I want it to be like simple things, like do videos of me cooking a meal or something, like you know, do cooking videos, or do a video of me changing the oil in my car.
Right.
You know what I mean?
More
like, and this,
things, right?
Yeah, basically, like, because it's those things that, like, some find attractive, you know what I mean? But like, it's a more of a general thing. Like, some people find cooking attractive, some blah blah blah. You're selling yourself as a service. So just as free content, you can see me changing my oil or cooking a meal or throwing disc at the park.
I always wondered how the
advertising. But if you're attracted to me physically and you want to see parts of me, you can do that too.
This is interesting.
You know what I mean? But women, I just realized that women do it all the time. That's the society we live in. It's kind of been normalized. It hasn't been normalized, but it's becoming more normalized every day.
Right.
And if it's a tool in the belt, I just use it.
Well, yeah, of course. I'm definitely not judging. It's just interesting. It's just, and more power to you, man. Like, I hope that you have some success with that, bro. Are you going to the gym and stuff?
Huh?
Are you like hitting the gym? Or are you like?
Well, I don't, dude. Like when I picked up my dog yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't know what I did to my shoulder, but it's swollen and sore today, bro.
That's not good, man.
Because I've been doing the push-ups. I've been doing because I doubled it up. I was doing at least 100 every day, and then I started doing 200 every day.
I gotta work out tonight, dude. Like I've been trying to procrastinate about that today, but I gotta do it tonight. So
yeah, dude, my shoulder is fucking sore as fuck. It's just the one, and I don't know why. Like, it's not a good feeling.
That's not good. I hope you rehab that, man. So I found Jackie Chan's
JC,
name. Old JC Senior. That's what we'll call him, JC Senior. His actual name, his Chinese name is Chan Kong Sang. That's his real name. Wait. SBS MBE. What the fuck? So does he have 3 names? It says real name Fang Shilong, known professionally as Jackie Chan. What the fuck is this? This is his whole
name.
Chan Kong Sang, SBS MBE PMW. What does that mean? What does that mean?
I don't know, bro.
By the way, he has a website that is kind of strange. He also has this thing that he tells people.
Are we talking about Jackie Chan?
Yes, Jackie Chan. So here's Jackie Chan's diary. You know what he tells everybody before he says something inspirational? He says, "Safe journey, my brothers."
Peace be with you.
Tell me that's not some supervillain shit, dude. Like,
bro,
it breaks my heart, bro. Like, I would not go so hard on a guy that I didn't have so much, like, affection and, like, you know, gratification, or not gratification, but like, I looked up to this guy as a kid, you know?
Yeah, but you find out things that you find out that you don't want to meet your heroes, bro.
Don't meet your heroes.
Don't meet your fucking heroes.
Don't meet your heroes. I didn't even meet Jackie Chan, but I found out.
Dude, and that's just the thing about the internet, dude.
Right, yeah.
That's the thing about the internet.
But, fucking A, bro. When do you want to do this, man?
It's Confessions with Priest.
Confessions with Priest is coming to that.
Yeah, we're gonna. I mean, we've been here for a bit.
We have been.
I'm not gonna reveal how long just yet, but we've been here for a bit, conversing.
Solid.
I think we had a good conversation.
Awesome. Plenty to work with.
So yeah, like yeah. As with Confessions with Priest, normally I would do a freestyle, but I'm not gonna do that today, just for the simple fact that I don't want to get hit for any reason. And since this is the first time I'm putting out newer content.
True that.
I don't want to get hit on the first episode, so I'm gonna skip the freestyle for today, and I'll find some. I will do some research into some DMCA free beats.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Something that I can use fair use without getting struck on YouTube, and we'll work with that.
Sounds good.
And I could have done the research, and I mean I know I could have got some Dr. Disrespect something or other going on, but like it's just not the.
Is this shit DMC beat. Free or whatever?
Yeah.
Word.
Yeah.
Oh, brother.
But I think Twitch will ban you if you play it.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to use Twitch. Twitch can click my unsubscribe button.
Nice play with metaphors there.
Thank you.
But it is Confessions with Priest, so Donkey.
Yes.
I won't.
You want a confession?
Yeah, you got to confess.
Okay, I'll confess. You want to hear about a time about
like it's got, dude. I wanted the.
I want to hear when I jumped out of a moving vehicle.
Your crispy socks. What? No, I need something juicy.
Something
dude.
Juicy.
Yeah, something juicy.
Juicy.
Dung's confess has to be juicy.
My
like a crispy sock, something.
Crispy sock. The fuck does that mean? That sounds disgusting.
It is disgusting, bro.
I thought I had a story prepared for this one, but I don't know.
No, you confess to whatever you want to confess to, Dunk. I'm not going to force you to confess to anything.
I can't really think of anything.
If you have crispy socks, that's your thing.
I don't got crispy socks. Shit.
I openly admit, like, I just shoot mine directly into the trash can.
I don't use socks, bro. I just aim for my face.
That's a confession.
No,
that's a confession,
that's
bro. Damn, Duncan, that was not the confession I was going for.
Well, it's easy cleanup, you know. You just get a napkin, you just wipe your face off.
Tell her that.
You've been sweating anyways while you were doing it. If you're out of shape like me, so it's really easy cleanup. Yes.
I don't know. It depends. Some days I can make it like 3 plus. Some days I go for like 20 minutes and I give up. I'm like, I'm done with this.
You just give up. You're just like, fuck this.
Dude, I'm like, I'll save it for the next one. It'll be a big one.
Your dick just like puffs air.
Dude, not even, bro. It's just, at that point, it's like, dude, stop fucking with me.
It's like, yo, you just
stop
leave me the
touching
phone. It just looks at
I'm
you like
already swollen. Like, I'm not going to get any bigger, dude. Get disappointed. You should be, because life is full of disappointments, dude. That's what my dick is telling me, bro.
My confession is, one time I jumped out of a moving vehicle unnecessarily. Not like there's ever a time where you necessarily need to jump out of a vehicle.
No. I mean, I could think of reasons to jump out of a vehicle.
What would be that reason? Zombies?
No, like, okay.
Missile?
Okay.
Grenade?
Let's use some theoretical shit
RPG.
right here. Imagine you hire me as your private driver, right?
Right.
My blood sugar falls. I go into a coma. You're not really paying attention. You're fucking around on your phone.
Kick you out of the car, right?
No. You're in the back seat because you're chilling.
Okay.
You're in my car, right? And you're like, oh, the front seat's comfortable, but like I can like sprawl out in this back seat. There's a plug back here. I can hook up my laptop and he's got Wi-Fi, so I can play Steam while I have, you know what I mean, service or whatever. But like you're in the back seat, you're not really paying attention. My blood sugar dips, and like look up, and we're fucking headed a cliff. We're not really going really fast.
And then I jump out to save myself.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
Bro, why would I leave you in the car? That. I wouldn't blame you for doing that.
It's so dark. Like, it could have just been me alone in the car, but you had to have you, like, diabetically, like, incapacitated in the back while playing a Steam Deck.
I had to put it in, like, I had to put you in a situation where it was actually viable.
I think an RPG or a grenade or some explosive flying at my car is probably more, like, possible than
are you thinking you're not that cool, bro?
Look, man, people want to kill me with RPGs. You don't know my life. You don't know how cool I am.
I've seen your streams. They do.
When I
walk
out of here, dude, I'm gonna dodge 3 frag grenades just getting to my car. You don't know.
Well, I'm sorry. I live in the neighborhood.
Well, that's just because of the life I live, man. I live a John Wick life.
Yeah, and I live
Texas
in a fucking trashy neighborhood, bro. So.
Oh, well, I'm not saying anything about your neighborhood. I'm just saying that people are trying to kill me.
But on with this story about you. All you said was you jumped out of a car unnecessarily, and I was just
no. I'll tell the story. I'll tell the story. I was just trying to whip myself as usual. So I was in my youth. I was like 23 before my frontal lobe was fully developed as a 25-year-old.
And already damaged, Womp.
Yeah, totally damaged. Oh, Jesus. I got the scar to prove it. I was driving in my red Sonoma, this small little truck, little GMC, and I was going up a hill. You know that little hill on the way to Gander Mountain?
Yeah.
You know? I was climbing that hill, and I was real low on gas, and my truck, I guess because of the way it was tilted, just started like puttering out of gas, right? And I couldn't gauge it because I wasn't sure exactly how much gas I had, and I was trying to make it to the gas station. So I pull off to the access road, and it's dying by the time I get onto the access road. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm totally sober, and I'm thinking to myself, well, how am I going to keep this car moving? You know, how am I going to keep this fucking thing going? And I get this brilliant idea, this fucking, grade A idea. I'm going to push it while it's still moving to keep the momentum going. So that's exactly what I did. I looked down at the gauge.
Leave you?
Oh, hear me out, bro. So the gauge is saying like 20 when I start making the decision to open the door to like make the stride to start pushing, because I think I'm so tough and strong. This is even before I'm working out, okay? This is how delusional I was in this whole process. I was just like, I'm gonna push this car by the door like I'm Terminator. That's not at all what fucking happened. I must have got out the car when it was going like 15 miles an hour at least. And I took one big step, and I did a fucking Batman roll. Like, you know how Batman would, like, bust through a fucking glass window and just do a combat roll perfectly? Yes. That's exactly what I did. It was probably the most elegant, goofy shit I'd ever, like, stupid thing I'd ever done, because what had happened was I did the combat roll and immediately sprung to my feet because it was such a, like, spontaneous thing. I thought I was going to get run over by the car. Now the truck is now like slowly, like comically drifting into the fucking like field, okay? And it's heading towards a barbed wire fence. And now I'm actively sprinting towards the truck. The door is still open, thankfully. I grab onto the wheel. I fucking stomp on the brake. The car, as the truck literally is pulling into the barbed wire to like into like the fender, dude. And like I just remember thinking like my heart is pounding and I'm sitting there just thinking like, oh, I can't believe I just did that. I did a really cool combat roll though. And then like about a minute it really sets in how bad that really looked, because there was a whole highway full of people that saw me do all of this, dude. Like somewhere in somebody's memory out there, bro. Maybe like this will be like in their thoughts, you know. Maybe they'll hear how, but like they saw a guy straight up jump out of a moving vehicle, do a combat roll, and chase a moving vehicle, all in the same go. So that's not the cherry on top. The cherry on top is I'm sitting there for about 10-15 minutes. And I'm contemplating how dumb and how like bruised my pride is of the terrible decisions I make, and I'm just sitting there. I can remember so viscerally. I'm just sitting there, just thinking like, but what if the truck turns on? And I fucking whoa! It turned right over, dude. No fucking problem. And I was just like, I didn't know whether to be pissed off and ashamed that I just did something so retarded, or that I should be just grateful to get to the gas station, because now I don't have to explain why my car is in the fucking field on the access road of a highway. You know, because like, how do you explain that? You can explain why you ran out of gas, but how the fuck do you explain how it veered off into a barbed wire fence? You like how my Texas accent came out?
You didn't save it from the barbed wire fence?
No, I did, but it was literally like in like the fence. Dude, it was so close, dude. No idea how close. Like, you know where the helium plant is?
Yeah.
I was facing it. I was about to be going through that bitch. Like, I was about to wreck it, dude. I was about to tear down that fucking fence and screw up my entire truck.
It's a barbed wire fence, dunk.
But it would have fucked up so much shit. Because it was going 15 miles an hour,
not
dude.
That big, dude.
But it was 15 miles an hour. It would have kept going, and it would have just...
Yeah, it would have kept going, but it would have slowed it down.
It would have fucked it up.
I don't know, you know, like...
It would have looked really bad. It would have looked worse. Yeah. I got away from it unscathed.
Yeah, getting into it. Yeah.
I got away from it unscathed. That was
getting into it. If it ran into a barbed wire fence, would have been way more embarrassing, bro.
I'm not proud of it, bro. I'm not proud of it.
Well,
but now the whole world knows about that story. That how I jumped out of moving vehicles.
Bro.
And by the way, that's not the first vehicle I had jumped out of. So there were 2 vehicles I had jumped out of. But the second time was not my fault. Second time was somebody else's fault.
I've never jumped.
Okay, so what happened was
I went door surfing once, but I didn't fall out of the car.
Like they pull a door behind a car?
No. Door surfing is when you get up to speed. You go like 30, 35.
Yeah.
And then you open the door and put your feet on the door, and you kind of just push the door with your feet.
Oh.
And you surf. You've never been door surfing before?
Nah, I can't say I've done
dude,
that.
it's not a good idea.
No, it's not a good idea.
Because if you try and, because, I mean, even at 35, you got to be ready for that.
Dude, yeah.
But if you start at 10 miles an hour, it's not hard to hold the door open. But at 35, you're having to, that's a lot of pressure, especially on your right foot. But it is pretty similar to surfing, like how you'd have to control yourself on a board.
This is a little bit of a tangent, but have you seen the video of John Jones just starting at a dead sprint of 25 miles an hour or some shit?
Yeah.
On a treadmill? He's like a fucking human horse.
He's so big at heavyweight. I'm interested to see what he does, but he's so picky about fights. He just wants a belt, and I think,
Dude,
as far as UFC is concerned, I want to see some tune-up.
Dana White said he's not fighting until 2022. That's crazy, right?
That's
gonna put so much ring rust on, dude.
Derek Lewis lose.
Dude, I heard Derek Lewis got rocked, bro.
He did.
Like, wasn't it like first round or something?
Second or third.
Wow. And wasn't Derek Lewis known for like having heavy hands?
Dude, super heavy hands.
But
he didn't. Bro,
I didn't see the fight.
He went in with a game plan, and I think his game plan was just to hit that full hard with one shot.
So he was like a one-dimensional fighter, do you think?
Bro, he's been working on his game, but
it's kind of late at this point, dude.
He fought Cyril Gane, and that dude is a technical fighter. He fights technically, but the thing is, he got knocked out by Cyril Gane. Right. That's the thing. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be the knockout king and then get knocked out.
Yeah, exactly.
So for Derek Lewis, and what happened to Derek Lewis sucks because, like, number one, I had my money on him. Two, it was in Houston, which is the city that Derek Lewis is from, and you just lost to a Frenchman in your own city. Like, that's
right. Yeah, he did.
But
wasn't he also like a newcomer too? Like, he wasn't even expected to...
Well, he's like one of those. He's kind of like, he's almost like Kimbo Slice. You know what I mean? Like, people didn't expect Kimbo to like have any success because he was just a brawler, bro. He didn't.
Well, I meant the guy who knocked out Derek Lewis. Wasn't he also like a newcomer or something? Or
he's fairly new. He's fairly new, and he's fairly new to UFC. Like, he's only been in the UFC for like 3 years.
Hasn't Derek Lewis also had like some fucking huge bomb fights with some other fighters that had hit hard too? I mean, that could also really wear and tear on your endurance.
Yeah, well, I mean, he had a couple fights that like just went like, that's what made people question his stamina. Was the fights that he didn't win by knockout.
Wow.
But he won some good, like, won against some tough opponents by spectacular knockout. But this was just, like, not, it sucks for him.
Right.
But that'll have to be something we save for the sports podcast, which will probably, I don't know. Well, I'll try and get that together next week if you've got time.
Yeah, if I got some time.
If you don't have time, I can just do it with him. But he's only going to talk about sports.
That's cool.
That's more
I'd have to do a little bit of reading, a little bit more reading than I did on old Wacky Chan. But because man, like, I'm like a casual with sports. Like, I know names, I know certain events and things like that. But for the most part, I'm pretty much a casual.
Well, since we didn't go live, I have a lot to edit from this. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna have to break this. Well, here,
like, let's. You want to wrap it up, and I'll put on my socials and shit.
Yeah, plug it, dude.
Fucking check out my motherfucking YouTube at. Let me look it up here, baby. At MonkeySeeMonkeyDo.com or MonkeySeeMonkeyDoGaming.com or not .com.
YouTube.
Scratch that. MonkeySeeMonkeyDoGaming YouTube.
YouTube.com/MonkeySee.
Oh, yeah. See, you know better than I do.
Is it underscore MonkeySee or is it just MonkeySee?
No, it's just MonkeySeeMonkeyDoGaming.
All right. MonkeySeeMonkeyDoGaming YouTube.
Yeah, check me out. It's more game-centric. Right now, focusing on... kind of separating my content. I'm thinking about doing more kind of kind of surreal kind of art shit, which sounds kind of fucking terrible and cringy, but I promise it'll be entertaining. And then the other stuff I'm making will be like my gaming stuff, and then of course, I'll stop by and do the podcast every once in a while. This is fun to do.
For sure.
Fucking enjoy this shit.
Well, it's definitely fun to have somebody to guess with and like bounce ideas off of.
Yeah. This is good for me too, man.
Can people find you on like other platforms, Twitch?
I do have a Twitch. I don't ever really stream, but my what is it? It's like, I think it's like Monkey Seafood or Monkey See Monkey Do Gaming or no, I don't even think it's the same. But if you do want to find me on Twitch, you can find me through my my YouTube. So if you go to Monkey See Monkey Do Gaming on YouTube, you can definitely find most of my socials. I really don't have many. I'm an old fuck. I don't really PR much like I should. But that's really all I got. But yeah, go give me a like, go give me a fucking, bell notification, subscribe, go help a homie out, tell me if you like it, tell me if it's garbage, tell me if you think it's funny. Anything helps, really. So,
hell yeah. Thank you. And then as for me, you know what I mean? Like, I know it's been a while since since I've done a podcast and joined you guys. I've been trying to do more gameplay stream, on and so forth. I have captured a couple more game play streams. I just got to download them. I'm trying to edit them, make them look fancy for you guys. We're going to be touching up these podcasts as well, just to make sure that they look crisp and excellent. Make sure that everything's linked, sourced in the video itself. You'll be able to see to Monkey's YouTube.
Yeah, that'd be tight. So to slay some flies too.
So we'll get all that up, and my plan is to try and put this out on at least a weekly basis and do some gameplays and shit. So
hell yeah, man.
We'll try to keep the content product up, and we'll work the kinks out with the cameras. We had it worked out the other day to where we had 2 cameras working.
But this is how it always is. It's how it always. Like right when you're about to do it, there's always like a massive things that go wrong. Murphy's Law, bro.
We couldn't get high enough to fix it.
If it can go wrong, it will go wrong.
But yeah, it's been fun. It's been real. Keep your eyes open. Oh shit, that was the mic I just bumped.
I bumped it all night, man. I hope it doesn't fuck up the audio and shit.
But we'll be around. We'll be doing things.
This has been great. I enjoyed the podcast.
For sure. Take it easy. Be good. See y'all in the next Confessions.
That was fucking fun. How long were we doing that, bro?
That was 3 hours exactly. 2 hours. Damn. 2 hours, 59 minutes, and 54 seconds, bro.
Damn, bro. That's a real podcast for you, bro.
That was a fucking podcast.
That's how you come back, bro. That's how you come back. We got it all in too. We got it all in. We even got a little MMA in there.
Yeah, dude. This can come back over here so it's not tripped on.
Forget my shit.
Oh shit, I gotta be easy. I don't know what I just wrecked. With the microphone. What's up?
Fucking brain,
bro.
Yeah.
That was literally one of the most satisfying pisses I've ever taken, dude. Like, for real.